Chapter 666. Auntie, don't worry. I'll get someone to take a look at your cow immediately. It can still work after its calf is chopped off. There's no need to kill it. Wang Wan had been handling all the cases in Baoxing County. She arrested those that needed to be arrested, released those that needed to be released, and educated those that needed to be educated. She did not have much to do with the commoners, but she did collect a lot of evidence of County Magistrate Ma's crimes. He had forced people to give him money, owed a bill at a restaurant, and refused to pay up. In any case, there were no major crimes that resulted in someone's death. Wang Wan was not in a hurry to arrest County Magistrate Ma immediately. She did not have the authority to do so. She needed to send a document to the manor first. However, considering that County Magistrate Ma should have someone to take care of him in the prefecture, she first gathered the evidence of his crimes. She and Zhang Xiaobao wrote a memorial and sent it to Luoyang, preparing to use it when the time came. For a while, there were fewer matters in the Yamen. As long as the criminals were not beheaded, Wang Wan ordered people to watch them dig wells and reform them through labor. They could not just be locked up and eat for free. The bailiffs were also disciplined. In the past, those who had committed major crimes were also sent to dig wells and were stripped of their positions as bailiffs. Those who had committed minor crimes had to compensate the victims. Wang Wan told the bailiffs that if they made any more mistakes, it would not be as simple as locking them up, nor would it be as easy as stripping them of their positions. They had to do as they saw fit. The bailiffs were all well behaved. In the end, only 3 bailiffs were left in the Yamen. They did not have to occasionally help catch pigs or chickens like the bailiffs of Sanshui County. The main reason was that the commoners of Baoxing County were not used to having the Yamen help with work. In the past, the commoners resolved all the problems between the neighbors themselves, so as not to tire out the cute little girl Cuckoo. Today, an old woman in her 50s came to the Yamen. After beating the drum, she came in and told Wang Wan that she had come because she had no other choice. She was not deliberately looking for trouble. The calf at home had been chopped off and could not work. Wang Wan asked someone to bring a stool for the old man to sit on. She didn't stay on the stool. She moved a small stool and sat in front of the old man. She held his hand and comforted him. Hearing Wang Wan's words, the old man also touched Wang Wan's small hand and said, "Child, do you really not need to kill my family's cow? You don't need to pay compensation?" "There's no need, Auntie. It's just a split leg. It's not completely broken. There's a doctor with me. He'll take a look at it. He'll be fine after a few days of rest." "Auntie, are you worried that there won't be any cows to plow the fields?" Wang Wan was very serious about this matter. She knew that something that she didn't care about was a big deal for the people. If it was done well, the whole family could live a normal life. If it wasn't done well, they might be even more poor. "Yes, or do you know that there is only 1 cow in the house? Without it to work, how can we plow the land? My old man died in the army, and my son is sick. There's only me, my daughter-in-law, and a 12-year-old daughter at home. We can't survive." The old woman began to cry as she spoke. She looked very sad. Wang Wan also took a deep breath and said, "Auntie, don't worry. The cows can't plow the land right away. I'll find someone to do it for you. Chung Er, come here. Later, go to the well-digging place and find 2 criminals. Go to Auntie's house and help her plow the land. If they can't plow the land well, use the whip to hit them. When they're done plow the land, they can go and dig the well. If other people's land is done, but Auntie's land is not, then I'll stuff them into the well." Chung Er was a Yamen runner. He knew that the new deputy county magistrate shouldn't do this, but he didn't object. He couldn't do anything about it. The young man had a powerful backer. He agreed and ran out, ready to find the people he despised the most. This was a private revenge. The old woman was happy this time. She touched Wang Wan's hand and said, "Child, you're a good child. It's a pity that I don't have a grandson. Otherwise, I'll definitely let him marry you." After saying this, the old woman realized that even if she had a grandson, he wouldn't be good enough for Cuckoo. Cuckoo was out of her league, not to mention that she had a registrar. Looking at the two children, she knew that they were a couple. She quickly changed her words and said, "My granddaughter has nothing to do. Why don't I send her to the yamen to help you? Although my granddaughter is only 12 years old, she can do any work. She can do washing clothes, cooking, and raising. People in the neighborhood always praise her." How could Wang Wan agree? Now the food at home was cooked by Zhang Xiaobao. She didn't think that the daughter of an aunt could cook better than Zhang Xiaobao. As for washing clothes, she had already built a small river nearby. The washing machine was installed. Who would wash clothes by hand? What's more, it was not easy for an aunt. There were 4 people in the family, and one of them was sick and couldn't work. 3 women supported a family. It was difficult to think about it. Even if there were always people who said that women were strong, it was not as useful as having more men in the family. She shook her head and refused. "Aunt, I have enough people here. When the spring plowing is over, I'll ask Xiaobao to think of a way to provide more income for your family. You can't live like this." "Okay, good child. Now my granddaughter can do things. Why don't you wash clothes for the yamen? There are old grains in the yamen. Just give some." The old woman was really afraid. She was worried that Wang Wan would forget, so she asked Wang Wan to arrange something for her to do. Wang Wan thought for a while and agreed. "Okay, Aunt. Tomorrow I'll ask my sister to come over and do things. You won't lose out. I'll find another doctor to treat Uncle. If he can be cured, then he can be cured. But the money for the medicine will have to be slowly paid back when Uncle can work. Okay, then I'll go back now and cook for the people who come to help." The old woman was relieved. She touched her chest and prepared to leave. "Aunt, you don't have to cook for them. You can cook for yourself. Their food is taken care of by the yamen. Aunt, is there no food at home? Don't pawn things. Take some back from the yamen first. I'll think of a way." Wang Wan knew what was going on. The aunt wanted to pawn things to exchange for food. Her chest was bulging. She must have put something that could be pawned. She quickly stopped her. The yamen runner next to her was sensible and immediately went to get the food. Soon, a small wooden basin of food was brought over. It was about 5 kilograms, enough for the family of 4 to eat for a few days. The old woman quickly waved her hand. "There are too many children. Half is enough to eat for half a month. Dig some wild vegetables and mix it in. It's delicious. Aunt, don't say any more. Go and get some salt and oil." Wang didn't want to see this kind of thing. After ordering the yamen runner to get the things, she shouted to the back of the hall, "Xiaobao, come out. Think of a way." Zhang Xiaobao came out from the back. He heard everything just now, but it wasn't his fault. The 2 of them had just taken office and didn't have time to do anything. The future arrangements were still being prepared. There had to be some time. How could they solve all the problems as soon as they arrived? Otherwise, they would really become immortals. "Aya, you can help one family. Can you take care of all the families now?" Zhang Xiaobao meant to put aside for now. Help one family means help one family. Quickly say a way. "Okay, let's think of a way. Aunt, since you don't have anything to do, let your daughter-in-law plow the land. Your granddaughter will come to the yamen. As for you, you can help with the publicity. How about it? I'll give you 5 copper coins a day. You'll be responsible for carrying a kettle and chatting with people. But you can't chat with all the families. You can walk around the streets and chat with people you know." Seeing that Wang Wan was urging him, Zhang Xiaobao had to come up with a way first. The old woman didn't understand. "You'll give me money for gossiping? No, isn't this giving me benefits for free? I have hands and feet. I can't take benefits for free. It's useful, it's very useful. If what you're talking about is the same as what we said, just tell the others that after the spring plowing, the county needs to occupy a very good place, especially next to the main road. Let everyone be prepared. When the time comes to move, the county will give you money. You can think of a place to build a new house. Building a house requires wood, and we can't be short of manpower. Have a plan in advance. Don't wait for the yamen to forcefully demolish the house. I'll draw a place for you. In such a place, all the residents around will have to leave. Those who are living now will be compensated by the yamen. At the very least, it will be enough to build a better house. If anyone doesn't give up the place, the yamen will forcefully pull them out and destroy the house. We don't want to go to that step. Also, those who voluntarily move out will be given new jobs by the yamen, the kind that can make money. Zhang Xiaobao was ready to carry out the next step of his plan. If he needed to let the people move out, he could use administrative means to solve it directly. There were no holdouts at the moment. The people were honest, but there were some people who were attached to their homes and needed someone to persuade them in advance. Of course, the compensation would be great. It was impossible to let them demolish the old house and find that the compensation was not enough to build a new house. The old woman was not too stupid. After hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, she nodded and agreed. I understand. Actually, I don't need to say anything. Once you two show up, everyone is willing to help you. I'll go back and find someone to talk to, especially the old man and old woman. Once you talk to them, they will be willing to move. 5 copper coins a day, isn't that too much? It's not much. Auntie, you have to know that the things you do are also very difficult. Persuading people is the most difficult. That's it. 5 copper coins a day. Zhang Xiaobao set the price and smiled as he and Wang Wan sent the old woman out of the yamen. After the old woman walked away, Wang Wan looked back at Zhang Xiaobao. She smiled sweetly and said, Xiaobao, you're really not ordinary. When I asked you to give me an idea, you didn't even have to wait. You just opened your mouth and said it. I agree with you pursuing me now. Thank you. I'm very honored. What else could Zhang Xiaobao say? He looked at Wang Wan carefully. She's still a little girl. What's there to pursue? Little young master, little miss, this is bad. Something big has happened. There's news from Luzhou. I've been looking around. Someone has just delivered it from Luoyang. Master said it's extremely urgent. Look at this letter. There are 3 chicken feathers stuck on it. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao were just about to have a heart-to-heart talk when Ernie rushed in with the letter in his hand and shouted loudly. Wang Wan took the letter and read it from top to bottom. Then she said to Zhang Xiaobao, the locals of Luzon have joined forces to attack our people. What do you think? Zhang Xiaobao did not read the letter. He could roughly guess what was going on from Wang Wan's words. He considered it for a moment before he said, the people there know how to join forces? Is it written in the letter that our people repelled their attacks a few times, but more of them joined forces? Yes, it's written like this. In the end, our people pulled back the defensive line and stabilized the place. However, the locals no longer helped us. Lu Zhou wants to send troops to suppress them. He asked us what we should do. Wang Wan waved the letter in her hand and nodded in agreement. How do you think this happened? Could it be that the local people were really so united? Or are the things we gave them not good enough? Zhang Xiaobao stood at the entrance and looked up at the sky. Wang Wan blinked. I don't think this matter is as simple as it seems. Is there a merchant from Great Tang behind this? No merchant would dare to do this. The coastal area is our world. Even if he chased the others away, he won't be able to bring back the goods. If he's the only one who can trade with others, what do you think everyone will think? Has he forgotten my family's ruthless methods? Zhang Xiaobao did not believe that the Zhujiang merchants were stirring up trouble. They would not be able to do so even if they were given the courage. Then what's going on? I don't think they can be united without someone commanding them from behind. Wang Wan was good at war, but she was not good at this kind of invisible conspiracy. She would only be able to make a judgment if she was given more information. Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said, let's not talk about who's stirring up trouble first. Lu Zhou's pigeons are in Luoyang, right? Send a letter asking everyone on the island to retreat. Don't leave anyone behind. Tell the merchants to stop trading temporarily. Tell them not to worry about the losses for now, and that they will be compensated in the future. At the same time, send out more patrol ships to circle Luzon Island. Sink any ships that appear in the vicinity after receiving the order, no matter who they are, even if they're carrying the dragon flag. In 2 months, There will be new news from there. Zhang Xiaobao also did not know who was stirring up trouble behind the scenes. Since he could not find out immediately, he decided to wait. The people on the island were used to the good things sent by Tang. After using them for a long time, if they suddenly ran out of goods, they would panic. They would know who was trying to cross the island by patrolling the island. Wang Wan picked up the letter and wrote a reply. We have no choice but to force them to show themselves. What if they want to negotiate with us? Then, we'll use the gunship to negotiate with them. Zhang Xiaobao was ready to kill. Wang Wan finished writing the letter and asked Erniu to deliver it to the messenger. The news quickly reached Luoyang. When Zhang Zhong saw the letter, he immediately sent a pigeon to Lu Zhou. At the same time, he wrote a letter and sent it to Gao Lishir in the capital to inform him of the situation. It only took 3 days for the news to reach the capital. Gao Lishir happily brought the letter to Li Longji. Your Majesty, there's news from Luoyang. Zhang Zhong said that he left this matter to Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. The two little fellows asked Lu Zhou's men to withdraw and patrol the island with patrol ships. They said it won't take long for the matter to be resolved. Gao Lishir now had a clear identity. He was Zhang Xiaobao's godfather. As long as it involved Zhang Xiaobao, he would pay attention to it. Li Longji really did not expect that instead of sending troops to suppress them directly, and also not using conciliatory methods to pacify them, they would retreat. After thinking carefully, he suddenly saw the light. He said to Gao Lishir, your family Xiaobao is indeed outstanding. This move of retreating in order to advance is formidable. Good. The flexibility of this strategy is difficult to see. Your Majesty, you're flattering me. My son Xiao Bao is just a little smart. You can't take it seriously. Gao Lishir was so excited that his face was red, but he still insisted on being humble. Since Zhang Zhong has already arranged for people to deal with it, there's no need to worry about this for now. Let's see what's going on. Li Longji did not have much time to deal with this matter. The Zhang family had taken over. If they did it well, it would be the same as before. If they did not, the Zhang family would naturally be anxious. Yes, Your Majesty. I'll go do something else. Gao Lishir agreed and left the place. He wanted to write a letter to his son. He wanted to praise him first. Li Longji looked at Gao Lishir's departing figure and shook his head helplessly. He realized that ever since Gao Lishir acknowledged Zhang Xiaobao as his godson, he had been busy all day. He did not know when to stop. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan sent out the letter and began to work on the spring plowing. Wells were dug one after another. The people did not lack water anymore. Although it was tiring to use manpower to water the wells, the people did not care. They were fine as long as there was water. With the addition of the small river here, the spring plowing of the entire Baoxin County was no longer a problem. Zhang Xiaobao was preparing to move on to the next step, which was to plant the food that herbivores usually ate on the poor soil. When the zoo in Beijing opened, the things here would be almost ready. They would then be transported to Beijing to exchange for money. This would subsidize the local finances and provide a new source of income for the local businessmen who had previously paid to dig the wells. Just as the two of them were checking on the situation of the land, the new county magistrate finally arrived. What a great show of extravagance! The broken carriages were filled with things. The broken animals pulling the carriages did not even have a sack of dung behind them. They just pulled the carriages along the way. This county magistrate did not have anyone backing him. He had also passed the imperial examination in the past. Back then, his family was poor, and he finally made it. In the end, when he saw that other people's families were rich, he had some ideas and made his own family's living conditions not bad. He was originally a county magistrate in a lower county. Later, when he reached Kaiyuan, he thought that he could be promoted. In the end, after that examination, he returned to a lower county. He still did not pass the examination this year. Just as he thought that the imperial court would remove him, he did not expect to be sent to a middle county. Furthermore, it was a middle county not far from Luoyang. This made him feel that his luck had turned for the better. He brought everything with him and rushed from the distant lower county to Baoxing County. Master, the county seat of Baoxing County is in front. Look at the wall. The new county magistrate's housekeeper waited for the procession to arrive outside the county seat before speaking to his master. This housekeeper was not bad. He was upright, and he was neither fat nor thin. He gave people the feeling that he had a righteous face. If he had not been called Hibaki by the people who had followed his master in the past, people would have thought that he was a good person. The new county magistrate's surname was also He. The housekeeper followed his surname and was called Hiiwei. It was a good name. At this time, he also saw the city walls in front of him. Although it could not be compared to the city walls of the capital, it was still much better than the places he had stayed in before. Hearing the housekeeper's words, a smile appeared on his face. He walked forward with his big belly and said, "In the future, this will be our place. Find out more about the merchants in the county." "Yes, master. I will go and find out." "Master, do you think you will be troubled by your subordinates when you take up the post?" The housekeeper carefully reminded him. He had seen this kind of thing many times. Back when his master was in the county, he was only an official. The main reason was that his ranking in the examination was too low. But so what? Through his connections with others, his master gradually got rid of the original registrar. Then he worked with the deputy county magistrate to get rid of the county magistrate. In the end, he became the county magistrate. The deputy county magistrate also went back home to farm. In terms of means, it was estimated that no one was a match for his master. Moreover, he dealt with people of a lower level with a higher level. Hiiwei smiled confidently. "What? Do you think there is still someone who can deal with me? Who would come to Zhong County to be an official if they are really capable? Go and tell the county that your master is here." "Master is right. I will arrange for someone to go." The housekeeper found two people. After a few words of instructions, the two people rode the two broken horses to the yamen. As a result, when the two people just arrived at the main street, they were stopped. A yamen runner waved the stick in his hand and shouted, "Who is it? How dare you ride a horse in the middle of the street? Come down." The two people did not shout for an urgent report. Naturally, they could not be allowed to run like this. What if they bumped into someone? In the past, no one was an official, but it was different now. "I am the family of the new county magistrate. Why don't you quickly report? Move aside." The person on the horse just stopped but did not get down. He sat on the horse and said arrogantly. Chapter 667. The two people who came to report the news were both poked down by the runner with a stick. The runner did not doubt the words of the two people. The new county magistrate might really come, but so what? Was the county magistrate more powerful than the deputy county magistrate? Although the rank of dereliction of duty was high, in terms of rank, the deputy county magistrate was secondary class too. How could a 10-year-old girl become an official at such a young age? "Do you know you are wrong?" After the two people were thrown to the ground, the runner asked happily. It felt good to beat the family of the new county magistrate. It was unknown what the runner was thinking. Anyway, he was happy and felt that the weather was warm and comfortable. "You dare to beat us? I think you don't want to live anymore." "We are. I know. You are the new county magistrate's people. But he hasn't taken office yet. Wait until he takes office. Tell me what's the matter." Without waiting for the person on the ground to finish his words, the runner continued his words and finally asked the purpose of coming here. "My master is outside. Why don't you go and welcome him?" "Wait, I remember what you look like." The person on the ground sat up and threatened the runner. "If I had known, I would have stabbed your eyes just now. I asked you to remember. It's good that you are here. Wait, I will go back to report and find someone to welcome you. You go back first. If you run again, we will beat you." The runner could bully people in the past, but now there was no chance. He finally found a chance. He told the two people and hurried back to the yamen. He said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "My lords, the new county magistrate is here. He is waiting outside for us to welcome him. I don't have time. When I came here, I left by myself. He is waiting outside. How much time will it take me to welcome him? Go find County Magistrate Ma. If you want to go, you can go." Wang Wan did not care about the new county magistrate. This county magistrate belonged to her and Xiao Bao. Only the two of them had the final say. If they went to welcome him, it would make the new county magistrate very happy. Especially Xiao Bao, who was Gao Lisher's godson. His father was still a high-ranking official in Luoyang. He was still thinking about the arrangements after the spring plowing. Who would compensate for the delay? The Yamen runner knew that this would be the case, so he replied, "Yes, I will ask County Magistrate Ma to go over. I just beat up the new county magistrate's men. They rode their horses on the street and threatened me. Should I not go over?" "Go. He hasn't taken office yet, so he can't do anything to you. Even if he takes office, he won't do anything to you. Remember to take a good look and tell me when you come back." Good job. I haven't ridden a horse yet, so what are they?" Wang Wan didn't care about such a small matter. After saying that, she continued to think about the future government affairs. The Yamen runner happily found County Magistrate Ma. When County Magistrate Ma heard that the new county magistrate's family actually did this, he silently mourned for the new county magistrate. He had not done anything yet, but he fell ill as soon as they met. Didn't the newcomer want to figure out first? After putting on his clothes, County Magistrate Ma walked out with the two of them. He wanted to see what kind of person the new county magistrate was. He Wei was anxious waiting outside. There were many people coming in and out who looked at him strangely, which made him very uncomfortable. After waiting for half an hour, County Magistrate Ma finally came. Seeing that there were only 3 people, He Wei felt very embarrassed. He stared at them with his eyes wide open. When he saw that it was a county magistrate, he felt a little better, but that was all. The housekeeper next to him asked in a low voice, "Master, something is wrong. Why is there only a county magistrate and a Yamen runner? The other one should be a servant. Where are the other officials in their county?" "What do you mean by their county?" "This is our county. The other officials may look down on me. Don't worry. After I take office, I will let them know how powerful I am." He Wei suppressed the anger in his heart. When County Magistrate Ma came closer, he immediately put on a smiling face. He took 2 steps forward and said, "Are you County Magistrate Ma? I am here to congratulate County Magistrate Ma first. I am sorry that I am late and delayed your appointment." "It doesn't matter. Who is the County Magistrate? Follow me in so that we can hand over the documents later. Some of the accounts are too messy. Please excuse us." County Magistrate Ma said to He Wei with a smile on his face. "Understood. County Magistrate Ma, please." How could He Wei not understand the meaning behind his words? He replied with a smile and followed County Magistrate Ma into the city. The people did not deliberately give way, which made He Wei very confused. No matter what, County Magistrate Ma was the leader of the county. Why were the people not afraid? No one even greeted him. The housekeeper next to him helped the master ask, "County Magistrate Ma, is the county busy? I see that the people are coming and going in a hurry. No other officials have shown up." "Oh, busy, really busy. Moreover, I have been sick these days. It is time for the spring plowing. Others really can't find time." County Magistrate Ma thought that the new county magistrate knew more and had the ability to deal with the 2 children. Therefore, he waited outside for others to welcome him. Now that he saw him, he finally understood that he did not know anything. Such a person still wanted to have a good life in the future? He must be dreaming. In the past few days, he had also sent people to ask about the 2 children in detail. Other than the identity of the eldest child of the Zhang and Wang families, one of whom was involved in the economic war, and the other of whom led an army to the point that the Tubo people didn't dare to fight back. The other boy was actually Gao Lisher's godson. Both of them had a plate and could enter the palace at any time. The little girl could even go to the imperial harem when she had nothing to do. How big of a face did they have? The message from the higher-ups was that no matter what, they could not offend the two children. Otherwise, no one could protect them. It was said that the emperor hung the portraits of the two children on the wall in the palace. Last time, the two children entered the palace to cook for the emperor. The emperor did not need anyone to test the poison. The dishes cooked by the people in the imperial kitchen had to be tested for poison first. The dishes cooked by the two little fellows were not tested. This was probably the first time since the emperor ascended the throne that he had done this. Even if the two little fellows killed her and reported it to the emperor, he would probably just say that the two children were still young and didn't know anything. Yes, the newcomer really did not know anything. Just wait to be taken advantage of. County Magistrate Ma did not want to say more to him. If he had known this would happen, he would not have come to welcome him. What if he offended the two children in the future and implicated him? County Magistrate Ma had let the two children investigate his account again and again. Many of the evidence of his crimes had been found. However, they did not care about him. Yes, they did not care. Although they were children, they were really good at handling government affairs. They were much better than County Magistrate Ma when he was young. County Magistrate Ma kept thinking along the way. He did not say anything. Yi also kept silent, but his eyes were carefully looking at the things on the road. As they walked, they arrived at the Fengwu Pavilion. Yiwei's eyes lit up. Beautiful, a good place. Looking at the situation, this restaurant should be good. He could get benefits from it in the future. County Magistrate Ma probably knew what Yiwei was thinking. He said at this time, County Magistrate this Fengwu Pavilion is not bad. It is the best restaurant in the county. It is just that I am not willing to come here. They do not accept credit. If I come here, I have to pay. But there is an advantage here. That is, you can exchange for gold and silver. Even if you want to exchange for gold, you can't do it in other places in the county. You can barely spend money, but you can't even think about gold. They do not accept money. The food in this restaurant is also very good. If you have a chance in the future, you can come and try it. The layout of the courtyard is also extraordinary. Except for the two big restaurants, sea and clouds, and between the clouds and the water, there are few other places that can compare to this. County Magistrate Ma did not have it easy. He kindly reminded him, which meant, don't touch this place. You can't afford to touch it. Of course, it was not that everyone could not afford to touch it. It was not a problem to take away his two little guys. But when the Fengwu Pavilion came back, as soon as the little girl mentioned the matter of money, they immediately gave him 500 strings of coins. Yiwei understood, but felt very regretful. It was not easy to find a place to get money, but it turned out that there was a big backer behind it. It could even be exchanged for gold. It had to be at least a marquee residence. Ordinary places did not need gold at all. He looked behind and saw a small building that was not bad. He asked, County Magistrate Ma, is that building also yours? Yes, they are all from the Fengwu Pavilion. However, the courtyard where the small building is located has been used for a long time. The Fengwu Pavilion said a few days ago that even if the people who live there leave, the courtyard will not be open to the public. It has been kept for the people who live there. I heard that the officials in the county are related to it. County Magistrate Ma could only remind him to this extent before he said that it was impossible. Could it be that there are crouching tigers and hidden dragons in Baoxing County? Yiwei did not say that for nothing. At least he understood the meaning of County Magistrate Ma's words. There were people in the yamen who were not to be offended. Along the way, he knew that there were two people who could not be offended. One was the Fengwu Pavilion, and the other was someone. As for who it was, he had to find out. Walking forward, they arrived at the yamen of Baoxing County. Different from what Yiwei had imagined, there was only a yamen runner at the entrance. Yes, there was a bench. Since when could yamen runners sit on benches and stand at the entrance? Looking at the drum, there was a new drum with steps to go up. Standing on different steps, one could reach a different position. Even if a child wanted to play the drum, it would be fine. There was also a small hammer on the shelf at the side. The entrance was newly painted, and there were many flower pots on both sides of the entrance. There were small trees and flowers that were about to bloom in them. It did look comfortable, but who would build a yamen like this? Especially that door. Why was there a big rabbit painted on it? Wasn't that something for children to play with? County Magistrate Ma, this rabbit? He Yi pointed at the door and asked, "Oh, a rabbit. Isn't it cute?" Deputy County Magistrate Cuckoo painted it herself. The people also like to see it. I was thinking of raising a few more when I moved to another place. County Magistrate Ma was also very helpless about this pair of rabbits. If it were not for them, he would have been impeached. Was the entrance of the yamen a place for them to draw rabbits? Unfortunately, he could only acknowledge them. If he wanted to please them, he had to raise them. Yi was also a little confused. He wondered if there was something wrong with this Baoxing County. After thinking for a while, he decided to go in from the front door and take a look. As soon as he walked in, he saw two children sitting in the hall, whispering to each other. He didn't know what they were doing. County Magistrate Ma knew that although they were only two children, they were invincible when they were together. Many government decrees were sent out under such circumstances. Not to mention other things, the county didn't have to worry about the shortage of water this year at all. Many commoners were willing to make some delicious food and send it over. Even if the two little fellows pushed it back and treated it as a gift, it couldn't stop the commoners from coming over to take a look. Right now, there was an old man sitting in the hall with nothing to do, drinking the good tea that the two little fellows brought. He just watched with a smile on his face. Yes, the two children were good-looking. The more he looked at them, the more he wanted to look at them. But they were officials. How could he do this? County Magistrate Ma was immersed in his own helplessness. Yi didn't dare to enter, afraid that he would enter the wrong place. Who were the two children? After a while, County Magistrate Ma saw that Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao were still discussing matters. He said to Yi, "These two people, one is Wang Wan, the Deputy County Magistrate. The other is Zhang Xiaobao, the County Registrar. In the future, if you have any matters, discuss with them." Yes, discuss. This time, Yi didn't understand anything else. He looked at the two children, sitting there in a daze. He couldn't connect them with the Deputy County Magistrate and the Registrar. At this moment, the sound of a drum could be heard. He turned around and saw a good-looking woman holding a child in her arms and banging the drum with her head. "Who's the drum? Bring her in." A voice came from the hall. The bailiff who was dozing off just now jumped up and led the woman in. Yi's eyes were fixed on the woman. The more he looked at her, the more he felt that she was attractive. Although she wasn't dressed well and her face was dirty, her figure and face were good. Coincidentally, the two of them came close. Yi thought that his opportunity had come. He revealed a charming smile and said to the woman, "Young lady, what's the matter? I'm the new county magistrate of Baoxing County. You can tell me." "You go to the side." The bailiff stretched out his hand and pushed Yi. He said to the woman holding the child, "Quick, if there's anything, you can find our cuckoo." "Yes, thank you, bailiff. Cuckoo, Xiao Xiao is sick. The doctor told us to prepare for her funeral. Cuckoo." The woman nodded. When she looked at Wang, one who was walking over, she couldn't control her tears and handed the child in front of Wang Wan. "Ah, she has a fever, so hot. Xiao Bao, go call the doctor. Chung Air, ice pack, hurry up. Aya, why is she sick? Sister, sit down and wait. Don't worry, it's fine." Wang Wan stretched out her hand and touched the child's forehead. She immediately knew that she had a fever, but she didn't know what illness it was. While looking for a doctor, she asked someone to get the ice pack and comforted the woman. The woman put all her hopes on Wang Wan. She knew the identity of the two people. When it came to doctors in the Tang Dynasty, other than the imperial palace, there were only the two families. If the two families couldn't do it, then it was completely over. Others said that the Day Medical School had the best medical skills in the world. They could even save people who were about to die. At this time, He Wei came over again and said with a smile, "Young lady, I also have a doctor at home. Why don't you take a look at the child? You go to the side." Wang Wan was worried about the child. When she saw someone coming over, she didn't give him a good face and directly drove him away. "Do you know who I am?" He Wei turned to Wang Wan and asked unhappily. Wang Wan answered him with a side kick. When the big face came into contact with the sole of the shoe, the big face lost. He Wei's nose was broken. He didn't know where this little girl got her strength. He took a few steps back and was supported by County Magistrate Ma. "County Magistrate He, follow me to the back and watch." County Magistrate Ma took out a handkerchief and covered He Wei's nose. He Wei was not convinced. He muttered, "County Magistrate Ma, she dared to hit me. You don't, follow me to the back and watch." County Magistrate Ma emphasized and pulled He Wei out. He thought to himself, "She hit you? Do you know how many lives she has taken? If you continue to move forward, it won't be as simple as being beaten." The doctor and the ice pack came at the same time. The doctor who could follow Zhang Xiaobao, and Wang Wan was naturally not an ordinary person. He took the ice pack and put it on the child's forehead. He freed one hand and held the child's arm. After a few breaths, he said to Wang Wan, "Young lady, don't worry. It's okay. It can be cured. I'll take it back." "Thank you, sister. Wait for a while. If Dr. Qi says it can be cured, then it can be cured. Dr. Qi treated me and Xiaobao." Wang Wan thanked the doctor for his hard work and then said to the woman. The woman held Cuckoo in her arms and cried, "Thank you, Cuckoo. Nothing can happen to Xiao Qiao. Otherwise, I don't want to live." Wang Wan pushed away the weapon on her body and struggled to get out. She gasped for breath and said to the woman, "Sister, just wait. Xiao Qiao may stay in the yamen for a few days. Sister, you don't have to worry about the medical fees. The treatment of the child doesn't cost money." The woman was still sobbing in a low voice, but she calmed down. She also knew that since the doctor who treated Cuckoo and Xiaobao was definitely not like the doctors outside, Xiao Qiao could be saved. The medical skills of the medical school were really good. The doctors outside were all quacks, who said that they had to prepare for the funeral. Why could they cure her? God, he finally opened his eyes and sent Xiaobao and Cuckoo here. Wang Wan didn't know what the woman was thinking. She turned to look at the person who came to join in the fun and asked, "What are you doing?" "County Magistrate Ma. Did he come with you?" "No. Yes, he is the new County Magistrate." "County Magistrate He Wei, is the child all right?" County Magistrate Ma didn't know whether to admit or deny because he was too stressed. Wang Wan glanced at He Wei indifferently. "Oh, the new County Magistrate. County Magistrate Ma, you can take him to the handover. The little brother is all right. Dr. Qi's medical skills are not bad." Yes, the handover is not bad." County Magistrate Ma nodded and took He Wei to another side. When they left the door, he let out a sigh of relief. At the same time, he had a deeper understanding of the family of the two little guys. Was it not bad? Didn't he hear what the woman said just now? Other doctors were asked to prepare for the funeral, but nothing happened when they came here. No wonder so many officials protected them and saved their lives at the critical moment. He Wei was frightened by what happened just now. He didn't understand why County Magistrate Ma was afraid of a little girl. He felt that this little girl was the county magistrate. Following County Magistrate Ma to the backyard, He Wei finally couldn't help but ask, "County Magistrate Ma, why did you treat that girl just now?" "Oh, County Magistrate you're talking about this? Don't you think that girl is pretty?" County Magistrate Ma couldn't tell the truth. "Pretty, from what you said, she is indeed pretty. She is already like this now. When she grows up, she will definitely be a great beauty. Don't tell me that County Magistrate Ma." He Wei showed an expression that all men knew. His words scared County Magistrate Ma. He looked around and shook his head. No, it's not what County Magistrate he thinks. That girl is the future wife of the person called Xiaobao. Xiaobao is smart and will definitely be a high official in the future. County Magistrate Ma expressed very clearly. He meant that he was worried that when Xiao Bao became a high official, he would think of someone who disrespected Cuckoo and take revenge. He just didn't say it out loud. In fact, he was already a high official now. If he wanted real power, he only needed to send a letter to the capital, and Gao Lishir would arrange it. Yi thought for a while and suddenly found a problem. He asked, "County Magistrate Ma, can you tell me the truth? How did these two little guys become officials? They look like they're only 12 or 13 years old. Even if they are a 9th rank official, it's not that easy to become a 9th rank official." County Magistrate don't ask anymore. I don't dare to say. Go and find out for yourself. Remember my words and be very careful. Don't think of yourself as a county magistrate. That's all I can do. My heart hurts again. Later, I will have someone send the account books to County Magistrate As County Magistrate Ma was talking, he saw a servant of the family who was about to leave. He couldn't guarantee that his people would be so loyal. As long as Cuckoo smiled at people, they would be scared to death or say anything. Watching County Magistrate Ma leave, Wei finally found that something was wrong. He muttered, "The two kids are very powerful. Their family is very powerful. It seems that I have to be careful. Be careful and don't cause trouble. I hope that girl won't remember what happened just now." Half an hour later, while Wei was still checking the account books with his people, the woman's child, Xiao Chao, had already cooled down. Although it was still 38 degrees, it was much better than when he came. There were ice packs under his arms and on his forehead. There were many needles on his body, and his little feet were connected to a bottle of saline that had just been developed. There was only saline and no other medicine, so he was sleeping peacefully. The maidservant carefully wiped Xiao Cao's body with cotton balls dipped in liquor. The woman sat at the side and looked at her son with a relieved smile. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan watched from a distance. "Xiaobao, what is Li Longji thinking? He sent a stupid official over." Wang Wan wiped the bottom of her shoes with all her strength. Earlier, it was stained with blood, so she didn't kick it properly. They are at different levels. He might think that he is very experienced as an official, but he doesn't know that is not the way to be an official. Li Longji wants us to educate him, not kill him. It's quite difficult. I think that his stomach is not qualified. Zhang Xiaobao passed Wang Wan some water and asked her to use it to wipe. "Then what do you think we should do?" Wang Wan asked as she continued to wipe. Zhang Xiaobao thought for a moment and said, "Give him some trouble and let him experience more things. Maybe he will change. Educating people is the most difficult thing." "Okay, you think of a way to give him trouble. I still have government affairs to deal with." "Okay, I have nothing to do anyway." Chapter 668. The arrival of the new county magistrate made a ripple in the peaceful Baoxin County. It was just a ripple. The main reason was that Wei had too many family members. He had a large number of wives and concubines. There were also many servants. The residents of the county magistrate in Baoxin County could not accommodate all of them. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw it and expressed their understanding. Their family members had a larger group, but they did not have so many wives and concubines. The two of them continued to do their own things. County Magistrate Ma survived the last stage and could finally leave. He happily packed his luggage and followed his family to the prefectural city to take up his post. After the arrival of the new county magistrate, Wei was very low-key for 5 consecutive days. When he took over the post, he knew that he was short of money, but he still admitted that he had received the money according to the account. Then he had a minor illness. He said that he would have a headache when he looked at the official documents and needed to rest for a while. "Xiaobao, it seems that Wei is not so stupid. Not only does he not care about the affairs of the county, but he also takes time to have a meal at the Fengwu Pavilion every day. Maybe he did not understand the situation when he came, but now he understands." Wang Wan was already very comfortable in her role as the county deputy. She was in charge of all matters in the county. She had specially arranged for someone to renovate a room to store the files. According to her previous work habits, every aspect of the files was filed and numbered. She even made an index of the files. It was much more standardized than before. Zhang Xiaobao also cooperated with Wang Wan to record the data. He also drew various tables according to the way the government used to do statistics. 1 table plus 2 tables equals 3 tables. There were the data of the items, expenses, income, notes, and so on. It seemed that there were too many tables, but it was very convenient when used in real life. It could control the error rate to 0.5%. Seeing that Wang Wan mentioned He Wei, Zhang Xiaobao thought for a while and said, Li Longji did not mean to do anything to He Wei. Of course, if he wants to find trouble, we will deal with him. Li Longji wants us to help promote the officials. Suppressing him is not the purpose. Let me give you an idea. Don't let him be idle. On this day, Yilwei woke up early in the morning. After freshening up, he wanted to go to Fengwu Pavilion to stay for half a day, but Wang Wan found him. County Magistrate I have something to discuss with you. I'm going to show the county's financial statement in the form of a map and post it on the bulletin board outside the Yamen. Then I'll find someone to explain to the people who don't understand how much money the county has and what it spends on. Good, that's good. Cuckoo, do as you see fit. I've been feeling a little unwell recently, so I'll have to trouble you, Cuckoo. He Wei smiled at Wang Wan. Wang Wan looked at He Wei's stomach and felt that he should lose some weight. Li Longji would not be satisfied with his current appearance. Seeing that He Wei still wanted to hide, she said, County Magistrate since we're going to explain to the people, we should let the most prestigious person in the county do it. Why don't you do it? Good, that's good. Cuckoo, you post it and I'll explain to the people. Then I'll go back and fill in the gaps in the treasury. He Wei was still easy to talk to. At this time, he had returned to being a petty official who did not provoke others. He finally asked people to inquire about the identity of the 2 children under the county magistrate from the mouth of the common people. He, who had climbed up step by step, was not stupid. He knew that Xiaobao and Cuckoo were above the law. He didn't want to cause trouble and just had to get through it. Wasn't it just standing outside and explaining to the people? If he wanted to survive in the officialdom, he had to endure all kinds of grievances. Wang Wan didn't care whether He Wei had really thought it through and was willing to take the initiative to do things for the people, or if he was going to wait until she and Xiaobao left. Anyway, as long as he did it, there was a high chance that he would be educated in the end. After making arrangements, she went to do other things. She ordered people to post Zhang Xiaobao's drawing on the notice board outside the Yamen. He Wei was really good at enduring. When he saw the drawing posted, he asked about the relevant situation and asked his family to pay for the money in the account with County Magistrate Ma. He then stood outside and explained to the people. It was the first time that the people had seen such a thing. They surrounded the notice board and listened to the new county magistrate talk about how much land there was in the county, how much land was in the fields, how much was left in the Yamen, what was the use of the money, where the money came from, what contributions the people had made in the process, and so on. The simple people didn't feel that it was shameful for a county magistrate to explain in person. In the past, they didn't know about such things. Today, they learned that they also contributed a part of the money that the Yamen earned. What I mean is that Baoxing County doesn't belong to me alone. It belongs to everyone. Everyone's efforts made the Yamen have more money. It takes from the people and uses it for the people. There will be money to support the areas in the county that need it. I will stop here today. There will be a new drawing tomorrow. He Wei spoke intermittently for 4 hours. He was so tired that he was sweating all over. In the end, he summarized according to Wang Wan's writing. He cupped his hands and bowed to the people around him. After that, he wiped the sweat on his face and turned to go home to rest. He didn't want to go to the Fengwu Pavilion. The moment he turned around, someone in the crowd shouted, "County Magistrate, he is a good official. I brought tea for County Magistrate he. County Magistrate he, please have a drink." As the voice sounded, a person squeezed through the crowd with a teapot in one hand and a big bowl in the other. He Wei didn't expect that someone would bring tea for him. Just as he was worried that someone wanted to poison him, he turned his head and saw that it was the deputy manager of the Fengwu Pavilion. He was relieved. Under the praise of the people, he drank a big bowl of tea and wiped the sweat on his forehead. When the breeze blew, he suddenly had a different feeling. It was very comfortable, but he couldn't explain it clearly. At a high place nearby, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were really watching with binoculars. "Xiaobao, your plan will probably succeed. I don't believe that he has a heart of stone. After you finish explaining all the forms, let him continue to work." Wang Wan felt a sense of accomplishment. It was easy to deal with a person, but it was very difficult to change a person. What she was doing now was to change Yi Wei and return Li Longji a good county magistrate. After drinking a bowl of tea, Yi Wei felt much more comfortable. He bowed to the people again and turned around to go home. He lay on the couch and felt very conflicted. On the one hand, he felt that he was in a good mood today. On the other hand, he felt that Wang Wan was deliberately making things difficult for him. He tossed and turned, unable to sleep. The next day, he came to the new map and continued to explain to the people. On this day, a letter was sent from Luoyang. It was written by Zhang Shuo and invited Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to join Jixin Courtyard. They were there in name and didn't need to participate in the history revision. "Cuckoo, it seems that little Li is preparing to perform a pilgrimage." Zhang Xiaobao had heard Wang Wan mention a certain period of history. Some had changed, while some were still continuing. Yes, the economy is prosperous, the country is stable, and the people are happy. It's time to perform a pilgrimage. Wang Wan threw the letter aside and said, "The people are really happy? All right then. Lu Yi, does Zhang Shuo want us to help him come up with ideas?" Zhang Xiaobao couldn't say anything else. He could only admit that it was a political necessity. Wang Wan lowered her head and looked at the tips of her shoes. After some thought, she said, "Xiaobao, we need to give Li Longji some trouble. We need to let him know how big the world is, and that he shouldn't think that he's that powerful. Many people say that he has been fond of grandiose achievements ever since his pilgrimage. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but we need to take precautions." It's the same. All leaders are the same. When they reach a certain level, they start to like singing praises. What trouble should we find? I need to think about it carefully. After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he went to the backyard to think of ways to make Li Longji feel threatened. Whether it was internally or externally, he had to think of ways to make Li Longji feel insignificant. 3 days passed. As expected, Zhang Shuo followed up with another letter. He asked for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's help in perfecting the pilgrimage. Wang Wan immediately wrote a letter back to Zhang Shuo based on what happened in history. If Zhang Shuo didn't follow the letter, it would change a little. If he followed the letter, it would be normal. "Xiaobao, have you thought of a way? Can we change history?" Wang Wan asked Zhang Xiaobao after she finished writing the letter. "We've already changed history. The pilgrimage isn't important. At least it's brought forward. Even if it's not brought forward, it's fine. I'll write a letter to Lu Zhou. I have to influence little Li internally. I haven't thought about the external matters yet. Yi Wei should be done, right? It's time to arrange something new for him." Zhang Xiaobao firmly believed that he and Cuckoo could continue the prosperous era. "All right, I'll look for him first thing in the morning." Wang Wan was only asking casually. She was not worried about not being able to control the situation. Early the next morning, when Yi Wei was about to look for Wang Wan to clarify what he was going to say today, Wang Wan came to him first and said, "County Magistrate He, something happened during the spring plowing in Shangyu Village. Why don't we go and have a look today?" "All right, that's good. Let's go and have a look," Yi Wei said in his signature manner. Hence, the group of more than 40 people rode to Shangyu Village. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan brought 6 people with them. 4 of them were guards sent by Gao Lishir, while the other 2 were farmers. As soon as they set out, Yi Wei finally saw the carriage of the 2 children and the servants' horses. The horses were all military horses. At first glance, the carriage looked like it was painted red. However, upon closer inspection, it was actually made of Phoebesian wood. There was no paint on the outside, and it was natural. "Master, their carriage is better than ours," the housekeeper said to Hiiwei, who was sitting in the carriage. "I see. They are richer than us. You know how rich between the clouds and the water is. Do you think I can rob them? Be careful on the road to avoid being schemed against." Hiiwei was worried that Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao would find trouble with him again. He was very vigilant. "I understand," the housekeeper replied, and also became vigilant. Shangniu village was not far from the county. The group of people walked on the bumpy road. After an hour, they finally arrived at their destination. As soon as they got off the carriage, they saw two people in front of them pulling the people working in the field and saying something. Wang Wan glanced at Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said, "I didn't arrange it." Chapter 669. Hiiwei also saw the two people in front of him. He thought that Wang Wan and Xiaobao were deliberately scheming against him, so he didn't immediately go over. Instead, he looked at Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao. Seeing that the two were also puzzled, he sent someone over to ask. He also sent the housekeeper over. It didn't take long for the two people to return. They told their families what they had heard and seen. "Master, look carefully. One of them is Japanese and the other is from our great Tang. Both of them are from the Huainan Dao's Four Seas Academy. They want to sign a contract with the local people. In the autumn, they want to use money to buy the leftover rice from them. The price they are offering is not low." Hiiwei's housekeeper told the master what he had learned. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also understood. What do they want the rice straw for? Is it to make fertilizer? Make things to sell? Isn't the Four Seas Academy a place that the imperial court set up to cheat people? If I want to collect the rice straw, what would I do? Yes, I can burn it to ashes and then boil it with alkali, but the cost is too high. It's not worth it. Wang Wan didn't know what to do with the rice straw, but she knew that the more simple-minded it seemed, the more unusual it was. Just like Zhang Xiaobao, when he was scheming, he would give people a feeling of a heavenly steed soaring across the sky. Zhang Xiaobao also narrowed his eyes and thought, maybe the international friend wants to help. He knows that the people of this county don't have it easy, so he raised the price to collect the rice straw. Moreover, as long as there is rice straw, he must sell it to them. Otherwise, he will pay 10 times the compensation. It's like forcing others to benefit. Then let's go and take a closer look. Wang Wan saw that Zhang Xiaobao couldn't say anything, so she pulled Zhang Xiaobao forward. Hiiwei also walked over. He wanted to understand what the Japanese and the Tang were planning to do. Could it be that collecting rice straw could make them rich? The price was too high. A carriage full of ordinary carriages was worth 6 copper coins, and a carriage full of firewood was only worth 5 or 6 copper coins. Could it be that straw was more valuable than firewood? When the three of them approached, two people from the Four Seas Academy were currently persuading the farmer. "Big brother, don't worry. We will definitely accept this price. We have money. Later today, we will go and discuss with the county magistrate. We will first put the money used to collect the straw in the yamen. When the time comes, we will have no choice but to accept it. Your price is too high. I'm scared." The farmer was very honest. If others gave him too much money, he would be even more worried. "It's not that high. We need the straw for great use. Usually, a cart can be sold for 3 or 4 copper coins. We want the straw to be very dry. That's why we're paying 6 copper coins," the Japanese explained in a very fluent language. The farmer originally wanted to ask more, but suddenly saw the 3 people coming over. His eyes lit up. He knew them. The county magistrate, the registrar, and the deputy county magistrate actually came together today. He quickly bowed. "County magistrate He, Deputy Wang, Registrar Zhang, you 3 are here. These 2 people said that they want to use the high holidays to collect the straw after this autumn harvest. I don't know if I should agree. After speaking to the 3 people, the farmer turned to the 2 people and said, "This is County Magistrate He of our county. Just now, you said that you want to put the money in the Amen. Ask the county magistrate." As expected, the 2 people looked at Hiiwei. Hiiwei was stunned. He wanted to hide at the back, but he was sent to the front by the farmer. He met the 2 people's eyes and coughed reservedly. He said, "I am the county magistrate of Baoxing County. Why are you 2 collecting the straw?" "Your Excellency? Is it really Your Excellency?" The Tang person looked carefully and saw that Hiiwei was indeed wearing an official's robe. However, the other 2 children, who were also wearing official's robes, were too young. Can a county magistrate be fake? If you don't believe me, I will take you 2 back to the Yamen. Where are the Yamen runners? Hiiwei couldn't discuss the issue of face. When he threatened, the Yamen runners immediately responded. They were indeed wearing Yamen runners' robes. This time, he actually brought 2 Yamen runners. The Yamen runners were very respectful. Although they knew that the county magistrate didn't have the final say, they still stood out to help. When facing outsiders, internal strife should stop first. Yes. Since Darren is here, we will tell Darren. We want to use the straw to make a profitable business. We can't say it now, but Darren will know when it's done. We are willing to pay 6 copper coins to buy a cart of dry straw and deposit 2,000 strings of coins in the county office. We hope Darren can help us. At this time, the Japanese man came over and said respectfully. There was sincerity in his eyes. Make a lot of money with straw? Wait, let's talk about it after the officials of our county discuss it. Hiiwei couldn't figure out how to make a lot of money with straw. He asked the 2 people to wait, and then he went to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and whispered, "Xiaobao, help us. How can we make a lot of money with straw? I know who you are. You are the person behind the economic war in Jiannan Circuit. What do you think?" Hiiwei was very modest. After a few days of understanding, he had already obtained a lot of information, especially the things that happened in Jiannan Circuit. In the war that killed people without spilling blood, it was his own county magistrate, Zhang Xiaobao, who commanded and killed the Tubo people until they lost everything. No wonder County Magistrate Ma was so scared. County Magistrate He, you are a county magistrate. You can't just rely on exploiting the common people without accomplishing anything. You have to act like a county magistrate and make the decision. If something happens, come to me and cuckoo. Don't be afraid. You are an official of the imperial court and the backbone of the common people. You have to act like a parent official. Otherwise, how can you take on great responsibilities in the future? Zhang Xiaobao didn't intend to intervene immediately. Besides, he couldn't see anything right now. Perhaps the other party really did have a way to make straw valuable. There were indeed many ways to use straw. Hiiwei saw that Zhang Xiaobao pushed the matter back, but was still willing to take responsibility for it. He gritted his teeth and turned back to the 2 people. Good. That's good. When will the 2,000 strings of money be sent to the Yamen? When will you be able to work with the local farmers? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The 2 people repeatedly expressed their gratitude. They seemed very happy. At this time, Wang Wan said, "County Magistrate He, Shangyu Village doesn't have enough manpower for the spring plowing. Why don't we help plant the seedlings? We also know the suffering of the common people." Good. That's good. What else could Hiiwei say? Let's do it. The 3 of them brought their subordinates into the field to help plant the seedlings. Zhang Xiaobao asked someone to bring the boots to everyone. After putting them on, he jumped into the field to help. Half of the 20 people didn't know how to plant the seedlings and had to learn on the spot. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, because of their height advantage, planted the seedlings very quickly. Both of them knew how to plant the seedlings. They had Zhuangzi at home, so they used to watch from the side of the field. Later on, they personally participated. Hiiwei, on the other hand, didn't know how to plant the seedlings. Although his family didn't have a good life, he was wholeheartedly studying. His parents didn't let him do the tiring work at home. He followed the example of others. He grabbed a handful of seedlings with one hand and separated 2 to 3 seedlings with the other hand. He pressed them into the water along the line. Hiss. After pressing the line for less than 10 times, He-Wei took a deep breath. It was cold, really cold. He was wearing boots, but it still couldn't stop the cold air from penetrating his body. There was also a bone-piercing feeling in his hands. It traveled up his arms and up his neck. He raised his head and looked at the farmer's bare feet in the water. He gritted his teeth and continued to insert the seedlings. His fingers were rubbed by the mud, and his fingers hurt. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao also felt uncomfortable, but the 2 of them could endure it. They put in 2 after 1 step. Unexpectedly, they were not slower than the farmer. Out of the 4 people sent by Gao Lisher, 2 of them also knew how to do farm work. The other 2 people had to carry the seedlings. 2 of them were carrying the seedlings, 1 in front and 1 at the back. Walking on the muddy and narrow ridge of the field, it was really slippery. In this field, there was only a man and a 13 to 14-year-old girl working. The 2 of them were really tired. The girl didn't know why the 3 highest officials of the county came over. Now that she saw them planting seedlings in the field, she was stunned and didn't know what to do. Officials. The 3 highest officials in the county were planting seedlings in her family's field. The 2 best officials were about the same age as her, but they were so skilled. Could it be that she just let them do it? Girl, quickly go home. Let Grandma boil the ginger water. The adults' bodies are precious. We can't let them fall sick. The man urged his daughter. I know. The little girl turned around and ran. She didn't even put on the shoes that were placed by the side of the field. After inserting the seedlings, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan felt their body heat up. They rolled up their trousers and took off their shoes. They began to walk barefoot in the water. It was not that they were not afraid of the cold, but the shoes were too troublesome. The ground was wet, and the mud was sticky to their feet. When there were places with different depths, the shoes would tilt, and the water would pour in. When that happened, they would wear the shoes again. After walking 2 ridges, there would be blisters. He-Wei still didn't know. He still couldn't bear to take off his boots, so he rolled up his robes to his waist and bent over to insert them. As he inserted them, water started to enter his boots. At first, he felt a little uncomfortable, but after Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan inserted 6 ridges, and he inserted 1.5 ridges, he finally realized that something was wrong. It hurt. The water had entered his boots and actually rubbed his feet. He took off the shoes and saw that there were blisters. There was a hint of red in the white. The housekeeper beside him came over. Master, why don't you go up and rest? Rest? Can I rest? Do I dare to rest? General Gao's son and daughter-in-law are soaking in the water. You want me to rest? Then it's not a matter of whether I can be an official or not. I have to think about it. We are not alive, and we are barefoot. I just found out that Zhang Xiaobao and Cuckoo are not wearing the same thing as us. They are wearing something that directly covers their feet. It looks very thin. He didn't dare to go up. He found a problem. That is, the things that they wear on their feet are different. Some people wear shoes and boots barefoot. Some people use cloth to wrap their feet. He also made something that can be worn on his calves. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan wear another kind of thing. It's not thick, and it can be pulled down easily. It's just above the ankle. What is this? It looks very convenient. Master, what about the blisters on your feet? The housekeeper said worriedly. I will go back and choose. I don't believe that the 2 children can do it, but I can't. It's so cold. He-Wei also learned from Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He directly stepped into the water and clenched his teeth and continued to insert the seedlings. The others also didn't dare to complain. They could only share the joys and sorrows. Some of the commoners who passed by saw this scene. The 3 highest-ranking officials in the county were helping out in other people's fields. They worked until noon and didn't even eat. Chapter 670. Xiaobao, open your mouth. Isn't it delicious? Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao were planting rice seedlings side by side until noon. They were hungry, so they quietly grabbed a handful of pork floss from their pockets and stuffed it into Zhang Xiaobao's mouth. They also ate a handful and chewed with their cheeks puffed up. Yes, yes. Zhang Xiaobao's mouth was stuffed with food. He tried his best to wet the pork floss with his saliva and nodded in response. The two of them secretly ate while the others didn't eat anything. They didn't even drink much water and were stubbornly enduring. A few people bent their backs and buried their heads in their work. It wasn't that they didn't want to straighten their backs, but they were afraid that their backs would break and they wouldn't want to bend anymore. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly reached out and pulled out a water snake from the water. He gave the rice seedlings in his other hand to Wang Wan. He took out a small knife from his waist and began to clean up the snake. This time, he didn't bring any hidden arrows and didn't tie a dagger to his calf. The knife was at his waist. In a while, I'll skewer it for you to eat. I've prepared seasoning. I originally wanted to make mud toads. If there's a snake, I'll eat it first. Zhang Xiaobao dug out the snake's gallbladder and said something to Wang Wan. He walked towards Yi Wei and said, "County Magistrate He, please eat the snake's gallbladder. Swallow it raw, don't bite it." Yi Wei didn't know if the water snake was poisonous or not. He was scared when he saw the snake. He nervously moved his numb feet and opened his mouth to let Zhang Xiaobao put the gallbladder into his mouth. It was bitter. Even if it wasn't broken, it was still bitter. "Thank you, Xiaobao. The snake's gallbladder is good stuff. Are there many snakes in the field? Are they poisonous?" Yi Wei endured the discomfort and ate the snake's gallbladder. He didn't dare to not eat it, so he asked worriedly, "This one isn't poisonous. When you feel a sudden pain in your feet and then numbness, then you've been bitten by a poisonous snake. Remember to call me. I have a temporary solution." Zhang Xiaobao scared Yi Wei again. There were too few poisonous water snakes here. The probability of being bitten was similar to winning a lottery. Good, that's good. What else could Yi Wei say? He just had to bear with it and hope that the Zhang family's medical skills were really as effective as the rumors said. At this time, the maidservant of the owner of the farm also came back. Her house was not close. When she came home, she found that there was no ginger, so she went to borrow some ginger. Only then did she boil a jar of ginger soup and add some red pond in it. After drinking a bowl of red pond ginger water, Yi Wei felt much warmer. Just as he was about to ask for another bowl, Zhang Xiaobao, who hadn't left yet, said, "County Magistrate He, their families aren't rich. 1 bowl is 2 copper coins. Remember to pay as much as you drink. You can't take benefits from them when you help them." Good, that's good. Pay up. It's not expensive, only 2 copper coins per bowl. Give me another bowl. Yi Wei didn't expect that he would have to pay for his work. 1 bowl cost 2 copper coins. 2 bowls were enough to fill a jar. The little girl hurriedly said, "It's free. Since you're working for my family, you don't need to pay for the things you should do." "How can it be free? I have to thank your family for letting me do more work. You see, I'm already very fat. Did your family plant rice like this in the past?" This time, Yi Wei didn't need Zhang Xiaobao to remind him. He knew what to say. At the same time, he looked at the little girl and felt sorry for her. He finally knew what spring plowing was like. "County Magistrate, you must be tired. Why don't you take a rest? If you work more often, you won't feel so uncomfortable." The little girl looked at her family's land. It was almost finished. She could make up for it tomorrow, so she didn't have to plant rice anymore. She said to Yi Wei gratefully, Good. Oh no, I'm not tired. I'm not tired at all. After working for a while, I feel comfortable." Strange. Yi Wei said something against his will. The little girl laughed. "Sir, come to my house for dinner later. Grandma has already finished cooking." Good, that's good. This was what Zhang Xiaobao learned to say. He wanted to make Yi Wei think about the past. It was okay to be an official and enjoy life, but he shouldn't forget that there were people who didn't enjoy life counting on him. After agreeing with the little girl, Zhang Xiaobao said to He Yi-wei again. County magistrate, he is the first good official I know who led people to do farm work for them. I admire you. When I came here, I heard from Sir that you would stay here tonight and continue to work for others tomorrow. I'll risk my life to accompany you. Well said, well said. It's what I should do. It's what I should do. He Yi-wei wanted to die. He could guess how difficult it would be to sleep tonight. He thought that he could go home and have a good rest, but it seemed that this wish couldn't be realized. 2 children, I'll remember you. I don't believe that you won't feel uncomfortable when I'm uncomfortable. Your 2 families are rich and noble. You're used to enjoying life. Could it be that you can endure it? Zhang Xiaobao looked at He Yi-wei's expression and knew what he was thinking. He thought to himself, you dare to compete with me and cuckoo in suffering? Do you know who we are? The little girl didn't know that there was such a struggle and calculation behind the official coming to farm for her family. She only felt warm in her heart. Being able to live in Baoxin County was the happiest thing. The emperor really remembered people like her and sent the best official here. County magistrate, Grandma has already killed the chicken. There will definitely be chicken to eat tonight. The little girl licked her lips and promised Yi-wei. Okay, no, give me money. You have to give me money. I always give money when I eat. Yi-wei didn't need Zhang Xiaobao to say anything. He took the initiative to ask for money. He finally understood. Wasn't it just using his own money to make up for the people? No matter how expensive it was, how much money could it be? If he gave it, he didn't need to worry. It was also good to have chicken to eat. Zhang Xiaobao felt that this Yi-wei was very interesting. Even if he pretended to be fine, it would become natural after he got used to it. He said to the little girl, just now, County Magistrate wrote a poem. It said that when the spring breeze comes, the spring water gurgles, and the spring water gurgles, and it's cold to the bone. When it's cold to the bone, it's in the heart, and the world is the sky. It's also about knowing the difficulties of the people, and knowing the difficulties of the people in the water, and the twists and turns in the water recall the past. In the past, I diligently studied and hoped that the heavens would pity me. When did the heavens pity me? When did the sea send me a sail, and the sail brought me to the shore, and the shore laughed happily? Who was in the fields? And who was in the fields remembering the old words? Xiaobao. He Yi-wei looked at Zhang Xiaobao and didn't know what to say. Magistrate He, good poem. Just now, Cuckoo said that Magistrate He's poem was about the past. Magistrate, you're busy. I'll catch a toad to go with your wine tonight. Zhang Xiaobao said again and walked to Wang Wan's side to continue working. The little girl didn't understand. County Magistrate, what's the meaning of your poem? Is it about transplanting rice seedlings? Yes, transplanting rice seedlings. Yes, transplanting rice seedlings. When transplanting rice seedlings, thinking about the harvest in autumn and eating fragrant rice. You have to remember the difficulties of transplanting rice seedlings. He Yi-wei's expression changed a few times. He said to the little girl and continued transplanting rice seedlings. His eyes looked at his reflection in the muddy water, and no one knew what he was thinking. The little girl didn't understand the purpose of Zhang Xiaobao's words just now. She smiled and said, County Magistrate, Grandma is already boiling water at home. When it's hot, you won't have to worry about your hand splitting. Good, that's good. He Yi-wei's movements were much more skillful, and he replied as he worked. Soon it was dark, and they couldn't work in the fields anymore. Everyone bent over and walked to the road. They slowly sat down and lay back, all of them grinning. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't care if there was anyone next to them. They massaged each other. The 2 of them were short, so they didn't have to bend over so much in the fields. They were better off than the others. Xiaobao, I think if the 7 dwarfs and Snow White lived together, it would be good to plant rice. Snow White would cook at home, and the dwarfs would transplant rice seedlings. What do you think? Wang Wan had just been massaged by Zhang Xiaobao, and now she was massaging Zhang Xiaobao. She said to Zhang Xiaobao, I think if the water was bigger and deeper, the 7 dwarfs would drown, and Snow White would drown. That's Snow White's story, not the story of a matriarchal clan. 7 of them. What are you talking about? Rogue. I'm cooking. It's so tiring for one person to cook 8. Be gentle. How many toads did I catch just now? I'll make braised toads for you, okay? My waist is breaking. After a rest, everyone could finally stand up and walk. They walked together to the house on this piece of land. The little girl jumped and jumped beside them. From time to time, she would say a few words to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The 3 of them looked about the same age. The male host was very excited. It was the first time that a high-ranking official had come to his house to eat, and he even helped with work. After walking for nearly half an hour, the group finally arrived at the house. There were 3 earthen houses, and there was a fence outside. The enclosed ground inside was planted with green onions, which had just sprouted. There were also 2 chickens in the yard, 1 male and 1 female. It didn't look so shabby. The roof of the house was very dense with grass, and the yard was very clean. At first glance, one could tell that this was a diligent family. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the green onion field and said to the male host, "When it's warm again, don't forget to plant the green onions in the field diagonally and bury them high in the soil. This year, the county will need a lot of green onions." The male host understood. If they were planted diagonally and filled in the soil, the green onions would grow. It was suitable for green onions. He nodded respectfully and said, "Thank you, sir, for your guidance." Yi looked at Zhang Xiaobao in surprise. He didn't expect these 2 children to know so much about farming. He originally thought that children from rich families didn't know anything. Why would they need a lot of green onions? Everyone simply freshened up and prepared to eat. The dishes were really good. It should be the mushrooms left from last year. After the mushrooms were soaked, the chicken was stewed. There was no need to eat it. Looking at the chicken skin, one could tell that it was an old hen that was stewed. Fortunately, it was stewed for a long time, so it shouldn't be difficult to chew. There was also a dish of green and tender wild vegetables fried with pork, a bowl of wild vegetable soup with eggs, a small plate of salted beans, and a pancake fried with eggs. There were a total of 4 dishes and 1 soup. Everyone knew that this was the best thing that this family could bring out. However, the staple food was finished. There were no steamed buns, only rice mixed with millet. One look at the rice, and one could tell that it wasn't good rice. However, there was nothing else in it. There was no sand, and there weren't any bones left after the small rice was ground. One could imagine that they had picked it over and over again. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan hadn't taken their seats yet. The main seat and the head seat were empty. Even the county magistrate didn't sit. He left the seats for Xiaobao and Cuckoo. The 2 of them were cooking toads and snakes in the kitchen. After waiting for a while, the 2 of them came back with 2 large wooden plates. Wang Wan looked at the seats and sat down at the head seat. Zhang Xiaobao also couldn't sit down, so he directly sat down at the main seat. However, he pushed the braised toad in front of Wang Wan. Wang Wan smiled and looked at Zhang Xiaobao. Then, she pushed a braised toad in front of the male host. Just as everyone was about to eat, a shout came from outside. "Brother Fu, are you here? Good news. I heard that the county's silver has increased. Bracelets and chains are much more expensive than before. If you have any at home, quickly sell them." Chapter 671. When the owner of the farmhouse heard the noise, he quickly went out and sent the people away in less than a quarter of an hour. He turned back and said to County Magistrate, "My neighbor said that someone in the county is buying jewelry at a high price. According to the weight, it's more expensive than the pawn shop. I don't have anything made with silver in my house." Everyone finally started to eat. In fact, only Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Yi were eating. The others looked at the pitiful amount of food and didn't touch it. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan really didn't care about the food. When it was time to enjoy, they would enjoy. When there was a special situation, it was fine as long as they could fill their stomachs. While eating, they praised the chicken's meat. Yi was indeed hungry. After working for a whole day, He had run out of water. He picked up the rice bowl and stuffed it into his mouth. He did not forget to carry out his duties and asked about the situation in the male lead's house. He also asked about the situation in the neighborhood. He also paid attention to how the well was being dug. In the end, he talked about the increase in the price of silver. He Yi suddenly stopped and looked at Zhang Xiaobao and asked, "Registrar Zhang, could it be that someone wants to fight an economic war?" Without waiting for Zhang Xiaobao to speak, Wang Wan said, "I'm not afraid. If they want to use the price of silver to leverage the entire monetary system and tire them out, it's not that I look down on them, but they don't have that ability." Yes, I'm not afraid. Then this matter. He Yi thought about it and was relieved. There were capable people in his county, so he didn't need to worry about other people coming to fight an economic war. Well, now that they said it like this, it sounded quite satisfying. An economic war. This matter doesn't exist. Just wait quietly. Wang Wan replied. She felt that if someone really wanted to use the price of silver to create hype, Zhang Xiaobao didn't even need to do anything. She could deal with it herself. It was a small matter. Sitting at the other table, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were proud. With the young master and the young lady in charge, it would be strange if someone could cause trouble. The 4 guards sent by Gao Lisher were also comfortable. They were General Gao's adopted sons, so they weren't ordinary people. However, the people around Yi were very depressed. The master could not even lift his head in front of the 2 children. The county magistrate was really suffering. The male owner of the house understood why the registrar official was sitting at the head of the table. It was because he was capable and not bad. The county magistrate was good. The registrar official and the deputy magistrate were good too. Although they had to fork out a lot of things to cook this time, it was worth it. The meal lasted for 2 hours in a pleasant atmosphere. Yi kept yawning at the end of the meal. Under Wang Wan's hint, he asked someone to take out some money and give it to this family. The reason was that he wanted to stay for another day and let this family be responsible for buying groceries. It would be best if they could eat wontons tomorrow. The male host accepted the food embarrassedly. Looking at the leftovers on the table, he knew that no one was willing to eat. Only the registrar and deputy magistrate ate a lot. When it was time to sleep, it was troublesome. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan naturally had to have a room. There were still 2 rooms left, and Yi had to have one. They could not let the owner of the house not have a place to stay, and there was not enough bedding. After some discussion, Wang Wan would not stay with Zhang Xiaobao. She would stay with the granddaughter and old lady of the house. The 3 of them settled down. The rest of them would take turns to rest in the other 2 rooms. They would take turns to rest every hour. They asked the male owner to borrow a lot of hay and even firewood to lay on the ground. Zhang Xiaobao pondered for a moment. He didn't get on the bed. He had to take turns sleeping on the bed. Instead, he hugged a large bundle of hay and ran to the corner of the room. He leaned back and didn't lie down. He was used to it. War was even more difficult than this. No matter what, he could still fall asleep. As for the car, it was taken by Gao Lisher's guards. The next morning, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had a good rest. The rest of them had dark circles under their eyes. Yi's eyes were in a trance. They continued to transplant rice seedlings. After working continuously for 3 days, Zhang Xiaobao was afraid that Yi would suddenly die. He finally ended the official activity in the countryside. He left some money for the people who kept disturbing him, and the group of people went back. Yi had lost weight. It had nothing to do with the food. No matter how good the food was, it could not withstand the daily work. He could not sleep well at night. His face was the most obvious. His eyes were sunken, and there were many wrinkles on his fat face. He sat in the carriage and took off his boots. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were completely fine. They were much more relaxed than when they were in the war. They did not have to worry about the enemy suddenly attacking. During the 3 days they stayed in Shangyu village, they heard about the price of silver rising every day. Compared to the 3 days, The price of silver in Baoxing County increased by 15%. It increased by 5% a day. That was 5%. It was not a small amount. Many people were prepared to go to other counties to exchange for silver to sell. However, they were afraid that if they really went to exchange, the price would be lower. After Yi-Wei returned to the bathtub, he fell asleep. He did not wake up until the next morning. Immediately, a servant came to report that someone had brought 2,000 strings of money and wanted to see the master 2 days ago. Yi-Wei thought that the two people were just joking. He did not expect that they would really come with money. He asked the servant and was told that the deputy county magistrate and the registrar had left early in the morning. He had no choice but to meet them personally. County magistrate, we have brought the money. Can you write a document for us to collect the rice? The two people were very happy to see Yi-Wei. The Tang Dynasty man asked anxiously. Yi-Wei felt that this was not a big deal. He nodded and agreed. He asked the servant to write a certificate for the two people to sign the contract with the people in the county. After this matter was done, the Japanese man said, "County magistrate, there is one more thing. We want to buy land in the county. Look, I have brought a map. We want to buy more than 10 pieces of land here and here. We will find people to do the land reclamation." The Japanese man took out a map and pointed on it. Yi-Wei recognized that it was a map of the county. To be precise, it was a game map. He asked someone to take a look and found that there were more than 10 pieces of land with trees. Some of them were mountainous. It was not good, so no one wanted to reclaim the land. After checking the book, Yi-Wei was very happy. There were more than 10 pieces of land that could not be exchanged for money. It included almost all the land with trees in the county. It was also a merit that someone was willing to buy it and burn it to change it into land. Just as he was thinking about which rules to follow, the Tang Dynasty man took action. He put the heavy package in his hand on the desk and said with a smile, "County magistrate, you have worked hard. This is a small token of my appreciation." As soon as he put it down, the package opened and revealed the shining silver inside. After a rough calculation, there were about 200 taels of silver. Yi-Wei picked up an ingot and looked at it. There was no mark on it. It was not official silver. It was not easy to spend a large sum of money, but if it was broken into pieces, no one would care. It was not a small sum, especially when the price of silver in the county increased. 200 taels of silver could be exchanged for 250 strings of coins in a few days. It is not enough to buy land. I need more money. I can sell the land to you. Yi-Wei struggled internally and decided to use the money to buy land. Your Excellency, this money is not used to buy land. I think it's part of buying land. Don't tell me the two of you want to bribe me? Yi-Wei's heart ached as he said this. He really wanted to take it, but he didn't dare. He was afraid that he wouldn't be alive to spend it. Not to mention that the Registrar General had the responsibility to monitor and report. Even if he didn't, it would be easy for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to deal with him. If the two of them got hold of something that could be used against him, no one would speak up for him. Everyone was afraid of being implicated. The two of them looked at each other and nodded. The Tang Dynasty man said, "Your Excellency is indeed a good official. Since that is the case, we will pay for the land. How much more do you need? We will pay for it." Good. That's good. But we will pay according to the official price. Yi-Wei waited for the two of them to send the rest of the money over before handing the deed to them. Seeing the two of them leave happily, he suddenly lost all his strength and sat down on the chair. The dust has settled. I am a good official. I did not accept any bribes today. No, I definitely did not accept any bribes. 200 taels of silver was right in front of me. I did not take it. I am a good official and will be rewarded. Good. That's good. After struggling in his heart, Yi-Wei suddenly felt relaxed as he muttered to himself. Someone come and brew a pot of tea for me. I will brew the Junshan silver needles that Magistrate Wang had sent over a few days ago. He Yi panted for a while and felt thirsty. He then asked someone to brew tea for him. Magistrate, he is so refined. You did not touch the money that passed through your hands. Drinking tea to soothe your heart, you are indeed a gentleman. Before the tea arrived, Wang Wan's voice could be heard. Hearing Wang Wan's words, He Yi could not help but tremble. He secretly rejoiced that he had made the choice just now. He did not know how Wang Wan knew. It was too fast. Zhang Xiaobao was also there. He looked at He Yi with a smile. He really admired He Yi's action. It was good that people were afraid of death. Many people did not know how to spell the word death. They knew that it was easy to be exposed, but they still rushed forward. He Yi had already dared to treat the two of them as two little guys who did not know anything. When he heard Wang Wan's words, he laughed and said, I am the official of Baoxing County. How can I harm my official affairs for my own personal interests? Have Magistrate Wang and Registrar Zhang been busy? Busy making money. Our family spent a lot of money this time, and we have to earn it back. Xiao Bao and I are thinking about how to get benefits for ourselves. Wang Wan nodded and replied, Haha, Magistrate Wang, you must be joking. How can you get benefits for yourselves? He Yi did not understand what Wang Wan meant. He just said that he would not harm his official affairs for his own personal interests, and she said that they would get benefits for themselves. What did she want to achieve? Wang Wan and Wei shook their heads and said, Magistrate I am not joking. I really want to get benefits. I came here to discuss with you. Do you have any spare money? If you can take out 500 strings of coins and leave a position for Magistrate then your family can have more income. I think that officials who know how to make money can let the people live a good life. Many officials have no worries at home, so they are not greedy. Xiao Bao and I are not greedy. It is not worth it. Our family is rich. Good, that's good. What if your family is greedy? He Yi finally understood what was going on. He did not take out the 200 taels of silver just now. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao were preparing to compensate him. Greedy, even when you have money. You peel the skin and stuff the grass. You kill one person for your own greed and slaughter the whole family for your family's greed. Can Magistrate take out 500 strings of coins? Wang Wan said to He Yi with a sweet smile on her face. He Yi finally felt the mood of the Tubo people. She was indeed a devil. She destroyed a city with a smile, and then a country with a smile. She was much more direct than Empress Xiaowu. Thinking that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang's business would involve them, He Yi replied excitedly, Yes, I still have 500 strings of coins. What kind of business is it? Good business. You will know after the spring plowing. Chapter 672. With a dream of getting rich, He Yi happily took out 500 strings of coins and gave it to Wang Wan. He didn't even take out a receipt. He wasn't afraid that Wang Wan would cheat him out of 500 strings of coins. Wang Wan immediately spent the 500 strings of coins. She marked out a place near the county town and asked someone to set up a shelf. The shelf was surrounded by canvas. She also used her identity as an academician of the Jixinjuan Academy to get a lot of books from Luoyang. They were all about the legends of various places. As soon as the books arrived at Baoxing County, she and Zhang Xiaobao went into the mountain of books and started to organize them according to the region. In the end, the two of them didn't want to waste their energy on this kind of thing, so they asked for help from the local people. Anyone with a bit of skill was hired and organized into books for later use. County Deputy Wang, the price of silver is still rising. It's already 30% more than before. I heard that many people are tempted and are preparing to go out to buy silver to sell. Do we need to use administrative intervention? Because Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were busy these days, He Yi was in charge of the county's affairs. He Yi was in charge of finding new yamen runners, renovating the yamen, handling cases, and so on. He Yi was in charge of everything, no matter how big or small. Needless to say, He Yi-wei, who had climbed up the ranks bit by bit, was really skilled. In the past, he didn't put his mind on the right path. It would be strange if a person who specialized in using administrative rules to get benefits for himself couldn't do normal things. For the past few days, he had been paying close attention to the rise in the price of silver and felt that something was amiss. Today it rose again, so he hurriedly ran over to find Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He had a lot of fun talking about administrative interference, which he had just learned. Oh, it rose again? County Magistrate He, economic problems should be solved as much as possible through economic means. If it really doesn't work, administrative means should be used. Otherwise, it can only be said that the government is incompetent in economic matters. The relationship between the two is not that simple. After this matter is settled, I will teach you political economy. You have to learn it, well, so that you can do big things in the future. When Wang Wan heard He Yi-wei's words, she glanced at Zhang Xiaobao. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wei Wei nodded, Wang Wan understood that Zhang Xiaobao found out the purpose of the other party's actions. She felt relieved and told He Yi-wei, "Good, that's good. I will continue to look." He Yi-wei was happy that he had the opportunity to learn new knowledge. He felt that with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan in the county, many things would not be the same as before. Every time a new decree was proposed, there would be at least 3 purposes. He was still like a child in front of the two of them and didn't know much. Just as he was about to turn and leave, Zhang Xiaobao suddenly said, "County Magistrate He, go find the owner of the Fengwu Pavilion and ask him to cooperate with the price of silver and increase the price of silver by 10% within 2 days. Then, release the goods. That is to take out all the silver stored in the Fengwu Pavilion and sell it to the person who receives the silver. Half of the money earned must be put into the public welfare of Baoxing County, which is to carry out local non-profit construction that doesn't make money." Good, that's good. I understand. Half of the money earned will be taken out for local development that doesn't make money. Should we add a reward mechanism for outstanding local economic and cultural contributions? He Yi-wei tried his best to keep up with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's footsteps. The manuscripts written by the two of them were placed on the desk in the hall. He secretly flipped through them to study and carefully pondered the meaning of the words. Zhang Xiaobao smiled and nodded. "Yes, we will add an agricultural yield competition first. We will propose a competition between farmland and farmland. When the autumn harvest comes, whichever mu of farmland has the highest yield will be rewarded with the same amount of money. We can pick the top 10 to encourage the farmers to spend time thinking about how to increase their yield and make a conclusion." Good, that's good. I will think about other aspects. For example, craftsmen. Today, our county sent people to participate in the craftsman competition in the capital, but there are no results yet. He Yi-wei respectfully agreed and turned around to work. After leaving Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's room, the housekeeper outside had been waiting for a while. After looking around, he finally found the master here. However, he didn't dare to go in, afraid that Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao would find trouble with him. As soon as he saw the master appear, he immediately came over and said, "Master, the silver has increased again. Do you want to go to the Fengwu Pavilion to borrow some money first? You can make a lot of money once you change hands. I have already told the second shopkeeper of the Fengwu Pavilion. They haven't made a move yet and are willing to lend us some silver. We can also use copper coins to exchange for it. It's an opportunity, master. Others haven't found it yet." Good. No, what's good about it? Do you think others are fools? This is why you can only be a housekeeper. Other people can be deputy, district magistrates, and chief secretaries. The Fengwu Pavilion hasn't made a move yet because they haven't received the order. Xiao Bao has given the order to make a move. The people of the Fengwu Pavilion are smart and know what to do. He Yi-wei suddenly felt that this housekeeper, who was usually good, had become stupid. After scolding him, he walked to the Fengwu Pavilion first. The housekeeper followed behind and was still unwilling to give up. "Master, are we not going to make money? Do you want money or your life?" Yi Wei asked. The housekeeper didn't dare to say anything else. That day, the silver price in Baoxing County rose again. It was 40% of the previous price, so the cashier had to slow down. The Fengwu Pavilion began to slowly release the goods. Those who had some money couldn't help but go outside to exchange for silver, preparing to come back and sell it. A long, long time ago, there was a big mountain here. It was, Xiaobao changed the word. A long, long time ago, you used it too much. When Zhang Xiaobao was sorting out the legends, Wang Wan interrupted him. Okay, it said that 1800 years ago, a big mountain flew here. Zhang Xiaobao realized his mistake and corrected it. Xiaobao, what do you think the other people who go outside to buy silver should do? They will lose money. The cashier will never allow this to happen. Wang Wan leaned against Zhang Xiaobao and gently ground the ink as she asked. Zhang Xiaobao stopped writing and looked at the door. We can control the economy, but we can't control human nature. They are not kids. They have to bear the consequences of their own actions. Do you think it's so good to have a pie in the sky? Let's wait and see. It will be very interesting. Just as the Wind Object Pavilion slowly released most of the silver, and when the other people who had sold the silver elsewhere returned, the person who received the silver suddenly stopped accepting it. At this time, someone came to the county and wanted to hire a large number of jewelry craftsmen and silver craftsmen. The wage was very high, more than double the usual wage. However, the craftsmen had to be good. They would be evaluated once every month. Only a small number of craftsmen were allowed to stay. If the craftsmen behind them were not good enough, they had to go home. Yi Wei had just received a part of the money earned by the Wind Objects Pavilion and was preparing to set up a reward system when he received such a piece of news. After considering it for a while, he immediately posted a notice to reward capable craftsmen. As long as they were craftsmen living in Baoxing County, they could compete with each other with their own skills. The good ones would receive additional rewards. There were not many craftsmen in the county. Most of them were farmers. When the craftsmen from other counties heard the news, they all rushed to Baoxing County with their families and prepared to live here. Yi Wei was very happy. With a large population, if he rewarded talents in other fields, maybe Baoxing County could be promoted from a middle county to an upper county. The original Sanshui County was only a middle county. After being promoted to an upper county, the glory was more attractive. At the same time, the county magistrate could be put in an important position. Yi Wei, who thought that he had made a great contribution in this matter, did not ask Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan again this time. Instead, he put the reward system in other aspects, such as the breeding of poultry and livestock. He made a reward system for everything related to various industries. The county's finance suddenly fell by a lot, which made him very anxious. However, he considered that as long as he could survive this period, his income would increase in the future. So he gritted his teeth and persevered. Wang Wan saw this clearly and did not ask Yi Wei for help. After all, Yi Wei did not ask for private income for her this time. His little bit of selfishness was nothing more than that he could be promoted and prove himself after being promoted from a middle county to an upper county. Looking at the enthusiasm of the people in the county in a short period of time, Wang Wan finished explaining the content of a place and sighed. It's too hasty. If he issues more disaster coupons for the people to cash out and continue to invest in development, it will become a child-free economy. Of course, if he has the ability to print money in Baoxing County and let others accept it, he can also transfer the upcoming crisis to everyone. Not to mention that he doesn't know anything. Even if he knows, he still can't control it. That requires the advantage of production technology and military technology to do it. Fortunately, he hasn't thought of that method yet. I want to see how he will solve the financial problem. Does he want to learn from us and use business to lead politics and make long-term investments? Does he have the foundation? Is there a way to generate a return on investment? Zhang Xiaobao smiled when he heard Wang Wan's words. He has good intentions. Fine, let him suffer a bit. We should test the other party's trump card and earn a sum of money from this. The money sent from Luoyang should be arriving soon, right? It's almost here. Li Longji actually interfered and took out 10,000 taels of silver, insisting that we return him 11,000 taels when the time comes. He just has nothing to do. In the end, 2 other princes also invested 5,000 taels of silver each. Our family doesn't lack money, so it's like a fund. It's worrisome, hee. As Wang Wan spoke, she also laughed. It was just a letter to write back and ask her family to mobilize a portion of the money. In the end, everyone knew about it and insisted on interfering. They even asked for a return rate of 10%. If this happened to her, she would definitely be angered to death. Who said that one could only earn and not lose money? What do they know? They only think that they can definitely earn money by giving us the money. Fortunately, they didn't say a return rate of 50%. We can earn less. I estimate that the overall profit range will be 12 to 15%. Sometimes, people giving money is also a disguised form of affirmation and support. This is a matter of attitude. Chapter 673. He Yi had expanded the reward system, and it was obvious that the local economy was developing. However, this matter would take a long time to repay. At the very least, it would have to wait until after the autumn harvest this year. The Yaman's finances were not enough. Every day, new pictures were posted. The commoners also realized this problem. The county was out of money. Every sum was clear. The commoners also knew that the Yaman did not embezzle money. All the money was spent on the local economic development. But now, there were only 120 strings of coins left in the account. For an ordinary family, this was a huge sum of money that they did not even dare to think about. But for a county, what could this amount of money be used for? The simple and kind commoners began to worry. Various places needed craftsmen. Some craftsmen who won the competition even took the initiative to ask for the money later. They could wait until after the autumn harvest. They could not drag the Yaman down. The commoners who were involved in farming also said that the money did not need to be moved to a special place and not used. They could use it for other purposes first. When the crops were raised and sold, they could pay the taxes. He Yi was also worried. He had done it according to the method of using funds for specific purposes. That was, the money had to be in place for a project. Even if they did not have to take out all the funds for the project immediately, they could not use it for other purposes. This was to ensure the Yaman's reputation. For the past 2 days, he had seen many commoners come to ask him to put the money elsewhere. It would be a lie to say that he was not touched. For the first time, he felt that this county was not supported by him alone. There were many commoners behind him. Everyone was working hard for this small Bushin county. This was the benefit of making the finances public. The commoners were very reasonable. They would not force the county officials to make the county poor. As long as the officials were not greedy, the commoners would be satisfied to see where the money was spent. His housekeeper was also anxious. Master, why don't you secretly use the money for other purposes? It will be fine when it's time to harvest. What's the use of using it? The funds are used for specific purposes. The finance table is there. Once you have money for other things, but there is no money in the financial income, then let me ask you, where did the money come from? Won't the commoners ask? You clearly have 120 strings of coins left, but you want to do 150 strings of coins. The extra 30 strings of coins can't be found in the financial income. How do you explain that? Did you hide it when you made the table, or did you use the funds? Without credibility, what do you want to do? I'm not afraid of not having money, but I'm afraid of losing the hearts of the people. It's fine to use the money, but I have to tell the people and they will understand. But that's something that only incompetent officials would do. Am I that incompetent? I'll look for Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao and ask them. My actions are too big and I'm too anxious. I still can't do it. I can't compare to the two of them. Look at how steady they are. It's so reassuring. You should learn more from them. Don't be unable to catch up in the future. He Wei had positioned himself as a good official. He did not need to be greedy or accept bribes. The 500 strings of cash he took out would become a lot of money in the future. The most important thing was to do his job honestly. He wanted Wang Wan and Xiao Bao to take a liking to him and bring him along in the future. Furthermore, it was really comfortable to be a good official with peace of mind. The people were all willing to support him. In the past, when the people saw him, they would hide as far away as possible. If they couldn't, they would wait there as if they were about to die. Now, when he went out and saw the respectful faces of the people, it really warmed his heart. The housekeeper also felt a sense of crisis. He nodded vigorously and agreed. Yes, master. I understand. I will learn more and help master do things. But can the two children do anything? Master, I don't know if they have a way. I only know that they can do whatever they want. It's not about whether it's difficult or not. It's about whether they want to do it or not. Otherwise, do you think that General Gao is short of sons and has to acknowledge anyone? He Wei really did not know how capable Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were, but he understood that if the two of them could not solve a problem, others could not count on them. Just like his family's medical standards, there was a saying that was said by the top people in Day Hospital. If the king of hell wants people to die at midnight, if I say 5, it means 5. When He Wei came, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were already not there. The place to put the model had been arranged. Some of the houses had to be demolished, some had to be decorated, and a river had to be diverted to make it convenient for tourists to travel by water. In winter, there was rarely a time when it froze, so water was the main transportation route. After the two of them finished whispering, Wang Wan looked up and pretended to have just seen He Wei. She asked, "County Magistrate He, what brings you here today?" Yes, I know that I was wrong. I was too anxious. The Yaman's finances are out of money." He Wei lowered his head and said like a child who had made a mistake. Wang Wan was very satisfied with He Wei's attitude. Wei nodded. "It's good that you know what went wrong. People are not afraid of making mistakes, but they are afraid of making mistakes again and again. Especially when working, if you are wrong, you should admit it." The people are very easy to talk to, as long as you are not greedy, and do not give the benefits of the county to people who bribed you. Tell the difficulties to the people and let them understand that you can't do it well because of your ability, not because of your attitude. As long as you are not stupid, you can slowly cultivate your ability. But if your attitude changes, then it will be troublesome. Now, there are 3 ways to solve it. Which 3 ways? After being reprimanded, He Wei was still feeling depressed. He didn't expect that the moment he found Wang Wan, she would know everything. Furthermore, she had proposed 3 solutions. There were still so many solutions? Why did he not think of it? Could it be that the gap between people was so big? Wang Wan pushed the things on the table to Zhang Xiaobao and let Zhang Xiaobao make the final improvements. She said to He Wei, "The first way is what I taught you today. It is called the economic model of private lending. Using the reputation of the Yamen as a guarantee, you can borrow money from the people and give them a relatively high interest rate. You will pay it back when the time comes." What if you can't pay it back? He Wei immediately thought of the key point of the problem. If you can't pay it back, you can borrow again. Use a part of the money borrowed next year to exchange for this year's money. Don't be afraid of borrowing more and more. When the economy develops to a certain extent, the currency will depreciate. As long as the speed of depreciation is faster than the speed of increase of interest rates, it will be fine. Of course, you still have development. You can't lose money every year. What do you think of being an official? Wang Wan asked He Wei with a smile. He Wei suddenly felt that he was standing in front of another good person. His eyes were wide open and his breathing was rapid. After thinking for a while, he finally said dishearteningly, "What about the other ways? I don't dare to do this. After all, I can't be an official here for a lifetime. If I don't take the office when the next one comes, I will be finished." Oh, you think this way is not good? Then the second way is to sell the land in the county at a low price to attract people and solve the short-term financial problem of the Amun. How about this? Wang Wan saw that He Yi-Wei rejected the first way, so she gave the second way. He Yi-Wei thought for a while and said, "This also won't work. I am not greedy or accepting bribes now, so I can't sell the things in the county at a low price. Otherwise, how can I face the people in the county who believe in me? I am not capable, but I am not the kind of person who will harm the interests of the people for myself." Good, that's good. Wang Wan imitated He Yi-Wei's words, then extended a finger and said, "The third way is to use the officials' own wisdom to think of a way to develop the economy. By attracting foreign funds to invest, you can give some preferential treatment. Through this money, you can supplement the finances and solve the employment problem of more people at the same time. As long as the long-term benefits lost from the preferential policy were not comparable to the overall benefits of the local project, then you were successful. For example, if you gave a policy that would result in a loss of 1,000 strings of cash in 10 years, but you could make the people earn money and let people from other places come over because of this project. In this aspect, you could earn 1,200 strings of cash, so it was a good choice for officials who did not have much ability. After 10 years, the preferential treatment will be over, and the real long-term income of the local people will be. The middle is whether the policy you give is proportional to the overall long-term benefits of the local people because of the foreign investment, and whether it is lower than this point. Wang Wan continued to teach He Yi-Wei more knowledge. Although it was difficult to grasp for officials who were not very capable, the theory was correct. Of course, she and Zhang Xiaobao disdained to do so. He Yi-Wei did not speak this time. Instead, he found a stool and sat there with his head lowered in contemplation. He wanted to calm himself down. The 3 methods he heard today had shocked him. Except for the second method, he had never heard of the other 2 methods. The local economic construction could be done in this way? No wonder the 2 children were sent here without worry. Their methods were indeed extraordinary. They were teaching him. He had to think carefully and understand and ask the questions that he was not clear about. Wang Wan was not in a hurry. She went to make a pot of tea and gave a big bowl to Zhang Xiaobao, herself, and He Yi-Wei. She watched Zhang Xiaobao perfect the plan and seemed very relaxed. After drinking a big bowl of tea, He Yi-Wei looked up and asked, "Is there a 4th method?" "Yes, I can only give you 4 methods. If you want more, it will depend on whether Xiaobao is willing to open his mouth. If he opens his mouth, I will not be surprised if he says 40 methods. Listen well, the 4th method is to organize the local people and gather all the resources from various industries. You will be the one to negotiate with the merchants from other places. Perhaps there will be greater benefits. This includes selling and buying. If you sell, you will make a little profit. If you buy, you will be able to collect some organization fees. No one will object to this. You will also be able to take out the taxes that you will be able to use." Wang Wan poured another cup of tea for He Yi-Wei and looked back at Zhang Xiaobao, who was still busy there. He Yi-Wei took 2 deep breaths. When he looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan again, he did not see 2 ordinary children in his eyes. Instead, he saw 2 little immortals who fell from the sky. From the information he gathered, he knew that Cuckoo's greatest ability was to command the army, and Xiaobao was in charge of the economy. A person who was in charge of war could come up with 4 methods. Then, how capable would the person in charge of the economy be? Perhaps he had not done enough, so Xiaobao was not willing to talk to him. It was not worth it. It seemed that he had to work harder. Good, that's good. Then, how many methods should I choose? He Yi-Wei asked humbly. This time, he did not dare to make a decision on his own. The 3rd method. My family's money will come in soon, but you don't have to give too many preferential policies. My family does not need them. Also, watch more. Recently, there will be some small waves in the county. Learn from them. Chapter 674. When Yi-Wei returned to his room, he was still in a daze. He couldn't understand why Wang Wan and Xiao Bao wanted to help him. Based on their abilities, there was no need for a county magistrate. The county magistrate was just a decoration, but they insisted on pushing him to the front to do things, giving him a good reputation. After he made a mistake, they taught him how to correct it. They were neither relatives nor friends, so there had to be a reason. If he was not convinced and wanted to cause trouble, it was too easy for them to deal with him. They didn't even need to do it themselves. They just needed to watch from the side. However, the two didn't do that. They patiently taught him like a teacher who had taken a fancy to a disciple with a bright future. Why? Is it because I'm obedient and easy to control? Who would be disobedient if they taught such skills? And when I came out, Xiao Bao looked at me and nodded. Does that mean he approved of me? Yi-Wei sat on the chair and began to talk to himself. After being an official for so many years, this was the first time he encountered such a situation. It was very strange. Master, do you have a solution? Why don't you immediately write a memorial to the higher-ups to prevent others from taking the credit? The housekeeper came over at this time. Yi-Wei turned his head and looked at the housekeeper. The more he looked at him, the more he found him to be an eyesore. The housekeeper was so scared that he knelt on the ground. He understood his master and was worried that his master would punish him. Yi-Wei frowned and sighed. Aye, it's different now. Can't you put more effort into thinking about things? What memorial to write? What credit do you want? Do you think everyone is blind? With Xiao Bao and Cuckoo here, do you know how many pairs of eyes are watching? If it's done well, it's normal. Who asked Xiao Bao and Cuckoo to be so capable? If it's not done well, the first person to investigate is not them, but me. They will think, how did I mess up the place where Cuckoo and Xiao Bao are? If I really write a memorial to the higher-ups, I will immediately be transferred. The higher-ups will say that I'm capable and transferred to another county to be the county magistrate. If I can't do it, then how do you think the higher-ups will punish me? You want me to steal the credit of General Gao's godson? Not to mention that the idea was indeed someone else's. Even if it wasn't, the credit is still someone else's. Yes, I know I was wrong. I won't mention it again. Master, please don't be angry. Don't hurt your body. The butler was sweating all over. Forget it. I'll ask around in the next few days and see what's going on in the county. You can leave now. Yi-Wei really couldn't bear to teach the butler a lesson. The butler was indeed loyal. It was true that he was a little stupid, but there was no need to worry about using him. His stupidity could be learned. Wasn't he learning? It didn't take long. 2 days later, something new happened in the county. The price of silver rose again. Ever since it fell a few days ago, someone who hadn't made a move before finally made a move. Now that the price had increased by 10%, the commoners were more well-behaved. No one wanted to join in the fun. In the past, those who had bought the silver at a high price did not sell it. When they sold it madly, they sold it for 15% more than usual. Now it was not enough. There were also many new craftsmen in the county. They had jewelry at home. They estimated the price. Because they were craftsmen, they didn't need to pay for the work. They took out the jewelry and tried to sell it. Sure enough, they made money. The price had increased, but it didn't exceed 15%. It just hovered around 10%. It made those who went to other places to buy the silver feel itchy. No one knew who came up with the idea first. He said that since other people didn't want to raise the price and still wanted to buy the silver, he should raise the price himself. When other people couldn't buy the silver, he could only raise the price himself. Soon, this method was accepted by more and more people. Everyone took out the extra money and collected it at 12%, 13%, and so on. As they collected, they discovered something. The money that they collected at the beginning was 15% higher than usual. After this collection, the overall loss was reduced to 14%. In other words, now that someone was buying the silver at 15% more than usual, once they sold it, they could still make a profit of 10%. However, Other people didn't raise the price by 15%. They would buy the silver at the same price as them, or even slightly lower. Thus, there was a consequence. Their average cost decreased, but they had more and more goods in their hands. There were so many that their capital chain was about to break. Some people couldn't bear it and let out the silver in their hands bit by bit. They would rather lose 10% of their capital. There were also some people who went outside to look for silver at the usual price. They would buy it and sell it. A low profit was still a profit, even if they had to bear the risk of being robbed. There were also some people who gritted their teeth and refused to sell no matter what. The Fengwu Pavilion was as unmoving as before. Their boss was indeed smart. He didn't discuss it with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan personally, nor did he give them a heads-up in advance. However, he knew what to do. He was waiting for Zhang Xiaobao's next order. Just like last time, Zhang Xiaobao didn't say anything, so the Fengwu Pavilion acted as if nothing had happened. After Zhang Xiaobao knew about this, he said to Wang Wan, "The person behind the Fengwu Pavilion isn't an ordinary person. I reckon it's either a prince or a county prince. Anyway, it can't be separated from the imperial family. Otherwise, they wouldn't trust us so much. Since they are giving us a gift, we have to do something to help. Let's wait for another day. If the price is still the same, then we will make a move." I wonder who it is that insisted on coming to Baoxin County to find trouble. Is he tired of living? Could it be that he came specifically for us? Wang Wan wasn't worried about this at all. Ever since she came here with Zhang Xiaobao, she had asserted that there were no more liars in this world. Even she could see through the tricks of others. Who would want to show off in front of an expert in front of Zhang Xiaobao? That was the ancestors' generation or the grandson's generation. Anyway, it wasn't clear who was the ancestor and who was the grandson. It's about time. There's no hurry. Let's go back to the room and carefully think about the benefits in bed. It's late. Zhang Xiaobao gestured to Wang Wan to sleep with him. Don't make it sound so ambiguous. You are really something. Last time, I said we were going to separate, but you still want to sleep with me. Wang Wan glanced at Zhang Xiaobao and went to the bedroom with him. You are the one who is not obedient when you sleep. You treat me as a pillow, okay? You have to be reasonable. Don't you want to take a bath? I don't want to take a bath with you. Men and women shouldn't touch each other. It's not like that. In fact, I have always treated you as a man. No need to explain. Separate. We must live separately today. He Yi also discovered this matter, but he couldn't understand it no matter how hard he thought. He was very puzzled. What were those people playing at? It was rising and falling. He wanted to find Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, but seeing that it was dark, he couldn't disturb them. He could only suppress the thoughts in his heart. The housekeeper was careful this time. He came over and asked, "Master, do you have to think of something? Tomorrow morning, go and ask Xiaobao and Cuckoo. I think this matter is not simple, but I can't figure it out. I have to learn." Good. That's good. Yi Wei was very satisfied with the housekeeper's change. He then said, "Remember this matter clearly. When I am done asking, I will tell you when I come back. I don't want to miss the key points. I think someone is playing an economic war with us. Do you know who Zhang Xiaobao is? Watch the show." "Master, you are right. Xiaobao is an expert. Do you need to remind him?" So as to avoid being caught unprepared. The housekeeper echoed. "Remind who? He already knows. If you remind him, it will be too late. Don't always think blindly. Learn more and ask more. Teach your son. In the future, he may be a capable person." Yi Wei was not in a hurry to remind him. A few days ago, Wang Wan told him to pay attention. How could he not know? He comforted the housekeeper again. The housekeeper was happy. His son would probably have an arrangement in the future. It was a good thing. Early the next morning, a bank suddenly appeared in the county. The words were posted outside. The meaning of the post was that one Tang bank was newly opened. It could be exchanged for gold and silver, and it could also be used as collateral. It was just that the collateral was slightly lower. The so-called slightly lower was in terms of the normal exchange of money, but it was much higher than the pawn shop. The profit was also a little higher. Some people regretted it. In order to raise money and raise the silver price, they had pawned the things at home. Now that a bank had appeared, they couldn't climb up. Some people who had a lot of money were happy. If they sent one tael of silver to the bank as collateral, they could get 800 copper coins. After half a month, the interest would only be 100 copper coins. With living money, they could continue to raise the silver price. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan woke up early in the morning and heard about this matter. Xiaobao, they've started. It's our turn now. Do we need the wind object pavilion to help? Wang Wan finished brushing her teeth and asked as if she had not woken up yet. No need for now. Zhang Xiaobao was infected and yawned. We could also open a bank and lend one tael to 1,000 copper coins. Those people are not prepared to exchange one tael for 1,000 copper coins. They will lose money. They just want living money. If the silver price is too high, everyone can play together. I didn't expect that there would be smart people who set up a bank. Before noon, a new bank was opened in Baoxing County, and the price was much higher. Those who hadn't gone to Wantong Bank to borrow money immediately went to the new bank. Release the goods. 1,000 taels of silver. 1,100 copper coins. After 15 minutes, release 2,000 taels of silver. After another 15 minutes, release 5,000 taels of silver. Tell Feng Wu Pavilion to prepare to receive the goods. They will receive the goods at 1,050 copper coins. At least 20,000 taels of silver will be eaten. Zhang Xiaobao opened today's legendary story and instructed the people in the inner courtyard. There were no electronic transactions or paper transactions here. Everything was sold by shouting. The inner courtyard of the Zhang and Wang families took out the silver and stood on the street shouting. However, the price they offered was too frightening. The local people who wanted to increase the price of the silver didn't believe it at all. As a result, they hesitated. Things were just that interesting. Once such a price was put out, someone immediately came over to take it away with Beijing's flying money. Zhang Xiaobao continued to put in the goods, and the other party continued to eat. He actually managed to maintain the price within a certain range. Release the goods. 5,000 taels of silver. Release it twice. The price is 1,120 copper coins. After that, release 20,000 taels of silver. Let Feng Wu Pavilion eat it. If they can't eat it, they can come and get the money. Zhang Xiaobao ordered again. Wang Wan stopped writing at the side and just looked at Zhang Xiaobao. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao was the most handsome. 2 hands of 5,000 taels of silver were released. Another hand of 20,000 taels of silver was released. The other party couldn't eat it. Although the price was very low, only 1,050 copper coins, the other party was obviously not prepared and didn't eat it. Feng Wu Pavilion finally showed its strength today. They swallowed 20,000 taels of silver without hesitation. They didn't even send someone to negotiate with Zhang Xiaobao. County Magistrate, can you see it? This money is coming for us. Otherwise, who can spend so much money in a small county? And Feng Wu Pavilion. Do you know how powerful they are? Wang Wan said to He Yiwei, who was standing motionlessly at the side. I know. They accepted 20,000 taels of silver just like that. Feng Wu Pavilion's backer is not simple. Didn't we make a profit? He Yiwei nodded. How much did we make? No matter what, we have to get all of the other parties' money. I reckon that Wantong Bank will raise the price soon. If they raise it, we will raise it. When they raise it, we will raise it. When they raise it for 1,200 copper coins, we will not care anymore. We will release all the goods. We will lend you some of the money we earned first. You can use it to go through the administrative process. This time, without Zhang Xiaobao saying anything, Wang Wan understood what to do next. Sure enough, every hour, Wantong Bank would raise the price. All of a sudden, it raised the price to 1,100 copper coins. County Magistrate Wang, why are you in such a hurry? Can't you drag it a little longer? He Wei didn't understand and asked, if we drag it any longer, the money from outside will come in. Everyone can't afford it, so we want to get a result in a short time to avoid being taken advantage of by outsiders. Tomorrow, the dust will settle. Wang Wan replied, raise the price. Our bank will raise the price by 1,150 copper coins, but we must increase the interest. The amount of interest will be calculated as 1,000 copper coins for 1 tael of silver. We will release 10,000 taels of silver. The price is 1,250 copper coins. We ask the other party to accept it all at once. After a quarter of an hour, we will release another 20,000 taels of silver. The last 10,000 taels of silver will remain unchanged. Zhang Xiaobao immediately issued a new order when Wantong Bank just raised the price. Chaos. The entire Baoxing County was in chaos. Everyone came to watch the show. The people had faintly felt that things were not so simple. With the rise and fall of the silver price, everyone was staring at it. After Zhang Xiaobao's bank raised the price, Wantong Bank also increased the money to 1,250 copper coins, but the interest was very small. As a result, after deducting the interest, 1 tael of silver from Wantong Bank became 1,050 copper coins. Zhang Xiaobao's goods were immediately swallowed up. Stop the delivery of goods. Throw all the money that the other people in the bank used as collateral to Wantong Bank. This bank will no longer accept loans. Tomorrow morning, throw out 10,000 taels of silver for 1,300 copper coins. Tell Feng Wu Pavilion to deliver the goods for 1,280 copper coins, all at once. Zhang Xiaobao sent out another order. A stormy day passed just like that. Early the next morning, Zhang Xiaobao put out a high price of 10,000 taels of silver. Feng Wu Pavilion also didn't lower the price. They actually put out 53,000 taels of silver. 40,000 taels of the 53,000 taels were immediately eaten up. The remaining 13,000 taels were not touched by anyone. Tell Feng Wu Pavilion to take the 13,000 taels to Wantong Bank. Our 10,000 taels will be reduced to 1,100 copper coins. Deliver the goods. Once Zhang Xiaobao gave the order, all the silver was sold. Just as he had estimated, every 2 taels was exchanged for more than 1,150 copper coins. Wang Wan asked He Wei, who was still obediently standing at the side today. He Wei shook his head. The other party wants to raise the price of the silver, which means that they have a large amount of money coming over. They want to make a profit from it or affect other aspects. Unfortunately, the other party looked at this kind of financial operation too simply, so they suffered a big loss. Even the rich people in the county who joined in also suffered a loss. If this kind of method doesn't have any other supplementary actions, it is really too inferior. It can't even compare to half of that person from Tubo in the sword school. We are now looking forward to his follow-up actions. But no matter what, this battle is a loss for him. Be prepared. The real storm is coming. Wang Wan could also understand what had happened during this short exchange, so she explained to He Wei. Chapter 675. In He Wei's eyes, the shocking currency war in Buxing County was over, at least for the time being. He sent people to surround Wantong Private Bank to prevent the people inside from escaping. It was fine if people ran away, but the money must be left behind. For Zhang Xiaobao's private bank, it was legal and did not check. There was no need to worry that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family could not afford it. Besides, nothing bad would happen. The private bank used other people's money as collateral and could not be redeemed. Of course, other people did not pay for the collateral. The real loss was the high price of silver used to buy the collateral. It was estimated that the local people would lose half of the money, and the other half would be the people who came to find trouble. It's really dangerous. After He Wei left Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's room, he wiped the sweat on his forehead and found that his clothes were wet. After 2 consecutive days of fighting, Zhang Xiaobao had tricked the other party into joining him as if he was playing around. That person's character and timing were too accurate. According to Zhang Xiaobao, this time they could earn 1 tael of silver and more than 150 copper coins. How much money did his family invest? How much did they invest in total? In nervousness, Yi Wei, who forgot to calculate, asked the housekeeper who was watching the war with him. 80,000 taels of silver and copper coins. 80,000 taels of silver and copper coins. Oh my God, so much money has been mobilized in a Zhong county to fight a war. Crazy, everyone is crazy. How many years of taxes would it take to make so much money? The housekeeper remembered how much money Zhang Xiaobao used. Thinking about the experience of the past 2 days, he felt that it was not money, but just a number. Have you seen it? This is an economic war, a part of economic war, also called a currency war. So, they earned more than 12,000 strings of coins? Money came too easily. If they want money, they just have to fight a few battles. Yi Wei rejoiced in his heart. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo were in the county and were prepared. No wonder they were not in a hurry. He could not afford to play. It was too scary. Why did they do that? It was a mess, but he had indeed won. He had won in a daze. The butler was also thinking about earning money. This was a battle with others. If there was no match, would he be able to earn a lot of money by doing this at a certain place? Thinking of this, he asked, "Old master, do you think this is how they get their money?" "Don't speak nonsense. Their family usually makes money through business, the kind with shops. If they really did that, wouldn't the great Tang fall into chaos?" "Master, I must learn it. It's really amazing." Yi Wei finally found his goal, and that was to learn the knowledge within. The butler also didn't understand what was going on. He still had doubts. "Master, didn't you say that there is something called a lever? You can spend very little money to do very big things, right? Why don't they use leverage instead of money? You didn't bring it, right? The lever is very heavy. Let's go and keep an eye on Wantong Native Bank. Don't even think about transporting a single copper coin out. Let's settle the account first." Yi Wei didn't know about this. After saying this, he returned to his courtyard to rest. The butler promised, "Rest assured, old master. We'll definitely keep an eye on them. The lever is probably not light. 2 children won't be able to carry it." In the room, Wang Wan was still calculating how much they had earned. She asked Zhang Xiaobao, "How do you feel? Are you very excited?" "More than 10,000 strings of string of money. Why would I be excited? It's not like we've hurt their bones." The Fengwu Pavilion can also earn more than 2,000 strings of string of money. Write a letter to the capital and have the Savants Pavilion send 1,000 strings of money to Lilongji. Also, the 2 princes will each receive 500 strings of money. It's so easy for them to earn money. What's the excuse? Zhang Xiaobao grumbled. In truth, he knew that the other party didn't care about this bit of money. It was just to get closer to them. Sending 2,000 strings of string of money was a return of attitude. More importantly, it was to tell them that they had won this battle, so that their cheap godfather wouldn't think about it. Wang Wan asked Zhang Xiaobao to write a letter and sent it over with a pigeon from the capital. Wan Tong Money House didn't run away. Zhang Xiaobao went over to settle the bill and signed a contract with the Fengwu Pavilion to sell MSG to them in the future. The Fengwu Pavilion actually had MSG, but where it came from and how high the cost was unknown. It probably couldn't be cheap. They could continue to help, so they didn't want to be underpaid. After a smoke-free war, Baoxin County calmed down again. The people didn't care much about it. Only the gossip spread again. Someone came to provoke them and was dealt with by Registrar Zhang. They earned a huge sum of money. It was estimated to be more than 1 million strings of string of money, or 2 million strings of money. The capital received an order to take out 1,000 strings of money, 40% of which was silk. The Savants Pavilion sent someone to deliver it to the outside of the palace. They also gave the gatekeeper some benefits and reported it to Gao Lisher. Gao Lisher hurried out and asked the person who sent the money, "Did my son earn it in Baoxin County?" In reply to the great general, it was. The young master also said that there was a lot of silver jewelry. He said that he would personally send it to his father. Here is 1,000 strings of money and silk. Please check it and reply to a note. The person who sent the money wasn't nervous at all. Gao Lisher was now considered family. He asked someone to spread out the table and the 4 treasures of the study. At the same time, he gestured for someone to bring a few boxes of food forward. Great General. The young lady wrote 2 new dishes in the letter. Let's make them for the Great General to try. Remember, get someone to test the poison first. Well said, there's no need to count. I'll write it now. My son Xiao Bao and Cuckoo are considerate. And it smells good. Gao Lisher lied with a glare. In order to keep the food warm, the lid was tight. It would be strange if they could smell it. 1,000 strings of money wasn't a lot, but Gao Lisher was happy. It meant that Xiao Bao and his son had won. As for what tricks they used, there was no need to think about it. Gao Lisher asked someone to bring the money directly to Xingqing Palace. He piled the money there and showed it to Li Longji without saying anything. It meant that his son had won. This reminded Li Longji of his own son, Li Yi, who had died prematurely. A trace of sadness flashed through his heart. At the same time, he envied Gao Lisher. However, he knew that he couldn't acknowledge Xiao Bao as his son. Otherwise, how would he inherit the throne? Who could suppress Xiao Bao if he had a son? Lisher, with Xiao Bao in charge, there's no need to worry about economic turmoil. Send the money to the rear and write a decree. The land that Zhang family and Wang family wanted is not in either of the 2 places. Put it in Fengzhou. But you have to make it clear first. You can raise horses, but you can't sell them to other countries. If you lack money for war, I understand. I think the Zhang family and Wang family also understand. Gao Lisher didn't wait for Li Longji to finish his words. Li Longji nodded and let Gao Lisher do his work. Gao Lisher went to the harem and sent out the 1,000 strings of money. When he came back, he also brought a letter from Empress Wang. It was written for Wang Wan. It was about the war. Li Longji read it twice and sent it to Baoxing County along with his decree. In Baoxing County, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still waiting for the other party's next move. However, the other party was not in a hurry. It was unknown whether it was because they were cautious after suffering a loss, or because they didn't make proper arrangements. Xiaobao, Li Longji really did put the land that he gave us in Fengzhou. Now that we have a place to raise horses, send Zhang Ying and Zhang Lang over with their subordinates. Also, get some veterinarians and take good care of them. How can we fight without cavalry? Otherwise, why would we develop mechanized troops? In the war in North Korea, our army was defeated by the magnetic tactics of the U.S. motorized troops. There's also a letter from Empress Wang. Oh, she asked me about the marching formation of the army. Unfortunately, it's easy to seize a city, but difficult to mobilize a harem. Wang Wan read the letter and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "What do you mean by difficult to mobilize a harem? Who's Empress Wang?" Zhang Xiaobao asked in confusion. "A very stupid woman. In the end, she died and was banished to the cold palace. So many maids in the palace treated her well. It's a pity." Wang Wan said with a sigh. "Stupid? Yes, very, very stupid. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. This stupid woman was the one who helped Li Longji seize the throne and the one who plotted against Princess Taiping. Do you understand?" Wang Wan said 2 things. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. "I don't know. How can someone who can plan 2 coups in a row be stupid? It's just a favor." Li Longji had other people plotting against him. She just stood firmly behind Li Longji and never hesitated. Even when faced with the danger of her family being exterminated, she didn't know how to play the 4 arts. She also didn't know much about politics. To be precise, she didn't have the intelligence and beauty. She was schemed against by that woman surnamed Wu. Wang Wan knew that Zhang Xiaobao didn't know about this, so she explained. Zhang Xiaobao was still confused. "That woman surnamed Wu? Who's that?" "Wu Zetian's descendant. She's related to Li Longji." I don't like her. Of course, I've never seen her before. I only know about her from books. Wang Wan couldn't help but admire Wu Zetian. It was fine if she was powerful, but her descendant was also not bad. Could it really be related to genes? I've never seen her before either. The problem is, isn't Empress Wang still alive? Zhang Xiaobao finally understood. In the struggle for power in the harem, Wang Wan directly stood on one side emotionally. Soon. I reckon it won't be long before she's banished to the cold palace. Wang Wan pouted. Is 300,000 strings of strings enough? Let's buy her and make you happy. It's not like it hasn't happened yet. It's like a plague of locusts. We'll send chickens to eat it. This was the second time Zhang Xiaobao saw Wang Wan being sentimental. The first time was when she said that one of the two was missing. Zhang Xiaobao didn't think that there was anything that couldn't be changed. Hearing Zhang Xiaobao mention chickens eating locusts, Wang Wan was indeed happy. That's right. If I want her to live, she has to live. Do you support me? I support you. He can make a beauty smile and play with the warlords. He can kill his adoptive father for the sake of the beauty. He can lead the Qing army to the pass for the sake of the beauty. Tell me, do you want to kill Li Longji? Can't we just blow him up? Zhang Xiaobao patted his chest and promised. Wang Wan burst out laughing. It's not like what you're saying. According to what you're saying, women are really a source of trouble. Shaoli can't die unless you become the emperor. Looking at how sloppy you are, I know it won't be possible. It's easy to save someone. Let Empress Wang go to Yaowang Mountain to recuperate, make her skin more delicate, and arrange for someone to teach her. When the time comes, she'll be a strong woman skilled in both the pen and the sword. Wang Wan happily wrote the letter. He didn't know if she really liked Empress Wang, or if she just wanted to change a person. In any case, she was very invested. Chapter 676. The spring breeze turned the weeping willows green. Birds perched on the branches, and fish swam gently in the water. Baoxin County, which had temporarily calmed down, continued to live as usual. The only difference was that there was no need to fight for water this year. No one would get hurt, and there was no need to hope for rain. As long as there was water in the well, there would be no shortage of water in the fields. They were willing to be tired from carrying water. On this day, a group of more than 60 people came from the northwest of Baoxin County. There were 3 large carriages carrying people and more than 10 carriages carrying goods. When the group saw Baoxin County, they stopped. An old man came down from each of the 3 carriages. One had his hands behind his back, one was stroking his beard, and the other was gnawing on a large meat pancake. A group of children from the nearby villages gathered around curiously. They were not afraid of strangers and just watched. The children standing in the cold river also stopped. Yuanji, why are the clothes of the children here better than those in Ruyang? That is an important and bustling place. The old man, with his hands behind his back, said to the old man, stroking his beard. That's right. Not only are their clothes nice, but their faces are also rosy. If it weren't for the rustic air between their eyebrows, no one would suspect that they were children from the capital. Old man Yao evaluated as he sized up the children who were crowding around to look at the spectacle. Old man Chang swallowed the meat pancake in his mouth and burped twice. He said, that goes without saying. Look at who is the official here. Capable people are capable no matter where they are. There is no lower county around Luoyang. If there is a lower county, these 2 little guys will go there. Incompetent officials want to find a good place to take advantage of others. Capable people go to places that others don't think are good. What are you fishing for, little girl in the river? This old man will exchange meat pancakes with you. In the river, there was a girl holding a small net made of straw rope. She lifted the net and replied in a crisp voice, Old Grandpa, Xiang, is fishing for river snails. I want to exchange them for money to buy chickens for Mother to nourish her body. Mother has just recovered from a long illness, and is weak. Oh, can river snails be eaten at this time? Old Man Chang was not ignorant. The river snails did not seem to have much meat. Yes, they can. The biggest restaurant in the county, the Fengwu Pavilion, has a special dish called river snail soup. Grandpa, are you passing by? If you enter the county, you can't ride your horse. You'll be punished. Xiang said as she walked out of the water. She took out a shell from her bosom, opened it, and rubbed it with a finger. Then, she rubbed the shell on the back of her hand until it was warm. Only then did she look at the team carefully, with a smile. As soon as the three old men saw the shell, they knew what it was. It was the Zhang family's signature product, hand oil. The price of this thing was not low after it was shipped over. A shell would cost at least 10 copper coins. How could the little girl afford it? When he took a closer look at the texture of the shell, he was even more surprised. It turned out to be the coconut oil series. That was not something that could be bought with 10 copper coins. Where did the little girl get it? Old Man Pai asked curiously. Xiang, where did the shell come from? My sister gave it to me. Let me tell you, don't even think about stealing my hand oil. My sister is the deputy county magistrate, a very high official. Xiang cautiously took a step back and warned them. A 9th-rank deputy county magistrate is also a very high official? Who told you that, Xiang? Old Man Yao jokingly laughed. Yes, she is a high official. How dare you provoke my sister? Xiang was unhappy when she heard that her sister was a low official. The three old men shook their heads at the same time. Old Man Chang shook his head the most vigorously. No, no, no. Who dares to provoke that little girl will die. Even if she doesn't use force, she will pester people to death. How did Xiang get to know the deputy county magistrate? I got to know her the day she came. She even asked people to send medicine to my mother. My mother's illness was finally cured. My sister and brother are both very good people. Old Grandpa, do you know my sister? Xiang heard that the three old men's tone was very peaceful. They didn't sound like bad people, so she moved forward. Suddenly, she thought of something and asked, Are you Grandpa by Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Yao? My sister told me that there are 3 old men, and they are very fun. What kind of fun? Old Man Pai didn't expect that in Cuckoo's heart. The 3 of them were fun. It's fun. She said that the 3 of you are very capable and always act like children. It seems that it's true. Big brother, second brother, come back after catching the toads. We have guests. The one who keeps stroking his beard must be Grandpa Yao. Xiang will treat you to braised toads. Xiang judged that the 3 old men were the old urchins that her sister had mentioned. She shouted at her 2 brothers who were catching toads in the field. Are you really treating us to food? Old Man Yao put down his hand and stopped stroking his beard. Of course. The guests of the deputy county magistrate and the registrar general are the guests of our county. The enemies of the deputy county magistrate and the registrar general are the enemies of our county. Xiang replied seriously. Old Man Chang waved his hand. No, no, there are too many people. There are not enough toads to share. We will walk forward. Xiang, would you like to talk with us? Xiang glanced at the 3 old men's team and found that it was indeed not enough to eat. They caught 100 toads, but each of them couldn't eat 2 toads. She puffed up her cheeks regretfully and nodded, then waited for Xiang for a while. Xiang is going to the county to sell things. We can go together. Xiang's 2 brothers carried a wooden bucket of river snails and more than 200 toads in a net. They sent Xiang to the 3 old men's car and asked for their names worriedly. Only when Old Man Pai gave the 2 of them a nameplate did he let Xiang go with them. The 3 old men entered the same car, including Xiang. There were 4 people in total. They slowly moved forward in the car. Old Man Pai raised the curtain and looked at the paddy fields along the way. Looking at the people patrolling the fields, Old Man Pai suddenly had a feeling of returning to Sanshui County. He took out a few snacks from the drawer and put them in front of Xiang. He asked, Xiang, Or your clothes were also given by your sister? Xiang didn't restrain herself. She picked up some meat floss and put it in her mouth. She touched the clothes she was wearing and answered, "No, other children also have clothes." This was given by a program in the county. Oh, it's called the Sapling Protection Program. The money left by the rich businessmen in the county to dig wells was used to make clothes for the children in the county. The leftover money was used to buy a lot of beans and eggs. Every day, the children drank a big bowl of soy milk and fried 2 eggs. The money hasn't been used up yet. When it's used up, it's said that someone will take out more money. There will be a score in the county. Those with more points will be able to occupy a position in the county in the future. At first, I thought that no one was willing to take the money. Later, I don't know why, but the rich all rushed to take it. They were afraid that they would be slower than others. There were also a few merchants who agreed that after the spring plowing, they would find teachers to build schools in each village. The children didn't need to take anything. Last time I went to the county and saw my sister, she said that it was because of reputation. A gentleman takes advantage of others, while a villain lures others with benefits. Once the matter is settled, the means are not important. Xiang said whatever was on her mind. Even if she wasn't very clear about many things, it was true that her family's life had improved. As the 3 old men listened, they knew that it was Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's idea. Only the 2 of them could do such a thing. They would do anything to achieve their goals. Others had to rely on their superiors. After all, their family's business was big and their identities were different. Once they missed the opportunity, it would be too late for regrets. Old Man Yao looked out of the car and saw more than a dozen people digging holes in the empty land nearby. He asked Xiang curiously, "What are they doing?" "There are many wells in the county, so we don't have to worry about running out of water. My sister said that in the future, we will all process and sell them together. Once we plant them, we will have money." My sister also planted a lot of flowers. She said that we can use them to make perfume and put them in glass bottles. We can sell them for a lot of money. I can raise a few lambs and wait for them to grow up to drink milk. Everyone says that God has opened his eyes. His Majesty also knows the hardships in the county, so he sent the best people in the Tang Empire here. I think my sister and brother are not good at all. Xiang are always last with me. Not good at all. Xiang would only drink some milk with her sister when she entered the county. It was very delicious. When she had her own family in the future, she looked forward to it. When the 3 old men heard Xiang's words, they suddenly laughed. "That's right. It truly is because His Majesty saw that you weren't doing well, so he sent the 2 most formidable men of the great Tang over. This formidable does not mean that the other is formidable. It means that they are capable. Of course, they are capable of dealing with their own people, but they are truly formidable when dealing with people from other countries." Old Man Pai said with emotion. He had to admit that it was indeed a blessing to have 2 little guys in a place. With them in charge, the imperial court could be very assured. They did not have to worry about the people living a bad life, and they did not have to worry about the army of some country suddenly attacking. The imperial court was now discussing the issue of Baoxin County being changed from a middle county to a county, because Xiaobao and Cuckoo came to be officials. Xiang did not know so much. After hearing Old Man Pai's words, she asked, "Sister and brother are very capable? More capable than the Prime Minister?" "Capable? What is the Prime Minister?" "The Prime Minister is also changed every few years. He has to act according to His Majesty's mood. These 2 can't be changed. His Majesty only has one kind of expression for them, and that is a smiling face." Old Man Yao finally realized the gap between him and the 2 little guys. "How do you know that the Prime Minister is not as good as my brother and sister?" "But I think so too." Xiang shook her head and said, "I'm just guessing. When I have the chance, I'll ask Zhang Shuo if he dares to fight for power with your brother and sister. He dares to fight with others, and he even won. Let's see if he has the guts to play tricks with your brother and sister." Old Man Yao curled his lips and said very confidently, "Is that so? Is Zhang Shua the Prime Minister? He's called the head of the Secretariat." I heard from my sister that he's also a very interesting old man. Xiang liked it when people praised her brother and sister. Seeing that there was still red water on the small table in the carriage, she poured herself a cup, raised her head, and drank it. She smacked her lips and said, "It's sweet and sour. It tastes like grapes. When I drink it, my stomach will feel warm." When Old Man Chang saw that the little girl drank a large cup of wine, he quickly made space for her and took out a blanket. When the little girl had a place to sleep, he covered her with it. Sure enough, Xiang fell asleep after a while. Chapter 677. The carriage of the three old men was not bad. The craftsmen of the Zhang family added shock absorbers to it. Xiang, who used to only dip her chopsticks in the wine, couldn't withstand the strength of a cup of wine and fell asleep peacefully. The group traveled leisurely until midnight before they finally arrived at the county town of Baoxing County. In order not to disturb Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's rest, the three old men discussed and decided to go to the best Feng Wu Pavilion in the county. The three of them took a liking to the courtyard with a two-story building. The servant went to ask, and when he came back, his face was full of anger. "Masters, the Feng Wu Pavilion said that no one is living in that courtyard now, but no one is allowed to live there. They said that it is reserved for nobles. I really don't know who is more important than the three masters. Could it be the prince, the crown prince, or the emperor? In order not to cause trouble for the young master and the young lady, I came back to report first." Haha, who can be more important than Cuckoo and Xiaobao in Baoxing County? Come, take this and show it to the manager of the restaurant. Old Man Pai took out a painting from his arms and asked his servant to bring it over. The servant was confident now. He went to the counter, gently unfolded the painting, and asked, "Can we live here?" The manager had already received the order that the courtyard was reserved for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. No one was allowed to come here. Just as he was about to refuse again, he looked carefully at the painting. It was a group of children playing around three old men. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were among them. The last stamp was also Wang Wan. He didn't dare to refuse directly and left. After a while, he came back and said, "I didn't know that you were coming. Can we live here? There are people cleaning it every day. Please forgive us for offending you just now. Can we live here?" Old Man Pai asked when he saw his servant come back. The servant nodded. Old Man Pai sighed. "I'm no longer in power, so it's hard to even stay in a hotel. Fortunately, Xiaobao and Cuckoo are filial. They'll stay here for the night, and we'll go find the two kids tomorrow morning." The group of people entered the courtyard under the astonished gazes of others. The waiter of the restaurant prepared the bath water and served the best signature dishes. The service was very considerate. However, the three old men understood that this was all for the sake of Xiaobao and Cuckoo. They woke up Xiang, who had almost fallen asleep, and ate together. Among them was a dish of stir-fried river snails. Now that there wasn't much river snail meat, they specially picked out the meat and stir-fried it. One plate had more than 300 river snails. Old Man Pai's heart moved. He called the waiter over and asked, "How much is this plate?" Replying to your question, this plate of stir-fried river snails is made from 366 river snails, a total of 75 copper coins, but you don't have to pay. The waiter didn't know who these people were, but since they could enter the courtyard, they must be extraordinary. So he respectfully replied, "Xiang, how much do you sell river snails for?" Old Man Pai asked Xiang again. "According to the weight, there are about 150 per caddy. 5 copper coins. In fact, it's 8 copper coins. You can get 5 copper coins. And the other 3 copper coins sister said to keep to buy the 4 treasures of the study. Is that right, Brotherwood?" Xiang replied to Old Man Pai's words and asked the waiter. She knew him. "Sister Xiang, I'm not Wood." Yes, that's the price." Don't look at the difference of 4 times. In fact, the restaurant doesn't make much money. It uses a lot of materials, and we have to pick them out one by one. The most important thing is that the river snail shells have to be given to the yamen for free. The yamen said to use the shells as fodder, and in the end, use the money earned to print some comic books for the kids in the county. The waiter also knew Xiang. She was the adopted sister of County Deputy Wang, who dared not to remember her clearly. If Xiang had come forward just now, he wouldn't have to take that picture. Yes, I would. Sister said that you are always so straightforward when you introduce the dishes. Don't you know how to turn around more? She asked for a tip. Xiang didn't care about other things, but the issue of how to address people was a big problem. Yes, Wood. I'll change my name tomorrow. Sister Xiang. How many river snails and toads did you send this time? How could the waiter argue with the customer? He would do whatever the customer said. I don't know. You go and weigh them. Remember to pour away the water. Don't touch the toads. They are for my sister. Xiang was happy. There isn't much water. Sister Xiang doesn't deliberately add water. I'll go and weigh them now. Also keep the toads so that they won't suffocate to death tomorrow. Okay? The waiter continued. Okay, grandpas. Try the river snails. They are even thickened with starch. In fact, the most delicious place is not the Fengwu Pavilion, but my brother and sister. But they are too busy to cook. Xiang scooped a little river snails into each of the 3 old men's plates with a spoon. Was there a need to say? Of course, the 3 old men knew who made the most delicious food. They signaled the waiter to get back to work and stretched out their chopsticks to taste the restaurant's dishes. Halfway through the meal, Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and He Yiwei arrived. As soon as he saw Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao, He Yiwei immediately recognized them. He had been to the capital before and knew who these 2 people were. He didn't expect that they would come to the county together today. Even though he knew that these 2 people were no longer in their original positions, he didn't dare to neglect them. Just as he was hesitating on how to speak, Zhang Xiaobao spoke first. Hello, Grandpa, by Grandpa Yao, Grandpa Zhang. Why are you here? I missed you so much. You didn't even say hello when you came. If it wasn't for the county's intelligence work being good, we wouldn't have gotten any news. Wang Wan also came forward and hugged Old Man Pai's arm. Grandpa Bai, are you used to the food? Why don't Xiaobao and I make steamed toads for you right away? Okay, seeing you 2 little guys, anything is good. Don't worry. I was afraid of disturbing your rest, so I stayed at Fengwu Pavilion for a night. I didn't expect that this courtyard would be so difficult to enter. I had to use Cuckoo's drawing. Let Grandpa see. Did you lose weight? Oh, Xiaobei told me to tell my brothers and sisters to quickly finish the county's work. They are coming. If anyone is in the way, tie them up and gag them. Tell Grandpa. Is there anyone in the way? Is the county still fun? When it's done, tell me what rank of official you want. Why don't you bring Lu Xian Heir, Weiwei, and the others to be provincial governor somewhere? Old Man Pai's mood suddenly became very good. As he talked to Wang Wan, he looked at He Yiwei. He also knew what was going on with He Yiwei. He Yiwei was frightened, and his heart was not calm. He had worked hard for many years, but he was still a 7th-rank official. The other person's position depended on his mood. He could suddenly become a 4th-rank official from a 9th-rank official, which was the worst provincial governor in Xia province. The 5th-rank hurdle that many people couldn't cross in their lifetime didn't exist for the other person. Wang Wan also looked at He Yiwei and said, Grandpa Bai, everything is good. The main thing is that county magistrate, he is wholeheartedly devoted to the people. He is very supportive of Xiaobao and my work. He is also outside the yamen to personally explain things in the yamen to the people. He is also working in the fields. It can be said that he is leading the troops. With Lord He around, everything in the county is stable. Oh, county magistrate, he is indeed hardworking and meritorious. I am very grateful to county magistrate He for taking care of Xiaobao and Cuckoo. Old Man Pai saw Wang Wan praising He Wei and knew that He Wei had been taught a lesson before. It should be that He Wei was smart enough. Otherwise, he would have been taken down by Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. He Wei was very touched. Cuckoo was indeed a good person. He quickly replied carefully, "Lord Bai, you are wrong. I am only able to do things because of the help of Deputy Wang and Registrar Zhang. I have benefited a lot from working with Deputy Wang and Registrar Zhang. I still need to learn more." Yes, it is right to learn more. Don't be arrogant just because you are doing something in the county. If you can learn a little bit of Cuckoo and Xiao Bao's skills, you will benefit a lot in life. Old Man Pai didn't hold back with Yi Wei. Yes, Lord Bai is right. Yi Wei said sincerely. Sister Xiang is here too. Luo Xiang couldn't help but shout. I saw it. Xiang has become prettier again. I heard from the waiter that Xiang also brought a toad for sister. Can I ask brother Xiao Bao to make braised toads for you tomorrow? Wang Wan ran to Xiang side and hugged her. Xiang face was full of smiles. Okay, make a few more toads. I will bring them back for mother. She has recovered and needs to be nursed back to health. She didn't even want to eat the braised pork that brother Xiao Bao made for her last time. Since Wang Wan was chatting with Xiang, Zhang Xiaobao had to chat with the three old men. He Wei also sat down with half of his, but on the chair, and listened to his subordinates, Deputy Wang and Registrar Zhang, talking to the three old men. As he listened and watched, He Wei finally understood to what extent the two children were spoiled. The former Minister of Revenue and former Prime Minister. As long as they spoke to the two children, they would definitely smile from ear to ear. The impression they gave was that the two children had thrown a stone from upstairs and hit an innocent person. It was also the kind of person who was careless and would easily be caught if he tried to defend himself. There were two rules. The first rule was that no matter what the two kids did, they were always right. The second rule, if there was a different opinion, they should refer to the first rule. Everyone gathered together and didn't want to sleep anymore. They chatted until the next morning. They washed up and ate breakfast. When they were about to go to the government office, He Wei's housekeeper hurried in. He looked at the people in the room carefully and said, "Master, the price of silver has risen again. It has risen by 10%. But just as it rose, someone said that they were selling silver ores and transported them from other places. They put them in piles and asked people to buy them." "Oh, there is such a thing? How do they buy them?" He Wei asked loudly so that others could hear. "Master, I went to ask. They said that a pile of silver ores could be worth more or less. They are selling it through bidding. The highest bidder gets it. The small ones don't know how to look at the ores. The ones inside are blocked and don't dare to buy. I heard that there will be gold ores in the future." The housekeeper told them what he saw and heard. He Wei didn't know why someone would do this. He had to look at Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao. Old Man Pai and the other two also didn't know the specific situation. They wanted to know what Xiao Bao and Cuckoo would say. "Xiao Bao, could it be that the price rose because of the silver ores?" Wang Wan asked. Zhang Xiaobao tapped his face with his hand. After a while he said, "They are too much. Do they really think that they are invincible just because they secretly learn some things in the Four Seas Academy? If they want to attack the economy, then attack the economy. Why drag Luzon Island into it? They still want to make a big plan and link it up with each other. They won't let me rest for a while. Some people think that they're so capable that they want to play a cross-regional, cross-industry game with me. But the means they use are not non-violent. The things in their bones really can't be changed. Since that's the case, let's play along." Chapter 678. Zhang Xiaobao's reaction was too intense. Other than Wang Wan, no one else understood. The three old men knew where the Luzon Island Xiaobao was talking about was. It was the Xinyuan Island mentioned by the imperial court. It was the island with a lot of resources and was very big. Xiaobao, what does selling silver or have to do with Xinyuan Island when the price of silver rises? How is it violence? Old Man Pai asked when he didn't understand. Of course it has something to do with it. A while ago, I was still pondering why the people from the Four Seas Academy came over. They were buying rice, buying land, and then increasing the price of silver. Now, I know that of all the things they shouldn't have done, they shouldn't have mentioned gold ores. How many gold mines are there in Japan? They have a lot of silver, but they still have to mention gold ore. Where did they get the gold ore? It can't be that they went to fight North Korea. Oh no, Xinlua, right? Then there's only one place, Xinyuan Island. No wonder the people there banded together. It's not right to do that. Zhang Xiaobao analyzed for Old Man Pai. Wang Wan understood. Most of the time, just a little bit of information was enough to reveal the background. She could figure it out after listening to Zhang Xiaobao, let alone Zhang Xiaobao, who was very sensitive to everything. However, Old Man Pai still couldn't understand. Why didn't the people from Xinlua come? Must it be the Japanese? Because Xinlua doesn't have the ability. I'm not looking down on them, but compared to Japan, they are far worse. People in Japan need to be treated seriously. As for Xinlua, they are too close. The army can go there just because they want to. They don't dare, and they don't have as many ideas as the Japanese. Zhang Xiaobao continued to explain. Japan is nothing. They can attack them just because they want to. Could it be that they want to start an economic war? Old Man Yao looked down on Japan from the bottom of his heart. They're not preparing to fight a war. They just want to secretly gain some benefits. This race is very studious and very tolerant. Now that they're fighting our dynasty, I think they want to get some good things back. If it was in the past, they wouldn't have spent so much effort. Our dynasty doesn't keep our technology a secret. Now that they can't learn the good stuff anymore, they should have discovered in the Four Seas Academy that if they want to learn good techniques, they have to spend a lot of money. Moreover, they might not necessarily be able to learn it, so they have to obtain it through other means. I reckon that they have learned a little bit about economics, so they want to use some methods to get the silver or in the country to sell for money. Thus, they chose Buxin County. Zhang Xiaobao had specially analyzed Japan before and finally found that they were actually similar to China. They were both so warlike and sometimes very weak. It was a very contradictory combination. There was not much difference in terms of history. A history was a history of war full of blood and tears and the alternation of power. If one had to point out a difference, it would be that their living environment was not very good. At this moment, Old Man Chong nodded in agreement and said, "Oh, I've thought it through. So they want to defeat you, Xiaobao. So they chose Buxin County." Grandpa Zhang, no. Why do they have to come for me? They want to be closer to Luoyang, but they can't choose a place that's too prosperous or important. Important places are too strict, and prosperous counties are too stable. It's good that they chose Buxin County. Didn't they come? It's just that in terms of intelligence gathering, they might have overlooked me because they don't have enough people in Tang. Zhang Xiaobao was also quite depressed. He was in charge of the county, but someone actually dared to come for him. They really didn't know how to treat bean buns as dry rations. "Are you sure it's Japan?" Old Man Yao asked. Shaking his head, Zhang Xiaobao replied, "I'm not sure, but the possibility is very high. From their methods, it can be seen that they don't want to fight a large-scale economic war or currency war. They just want to cultivate a more reasonable hotbed to sell the silver, or which is the environment. They don't want to fight? Then why did they go to Xinyuan Island to organize people to cause trouble?" Old Man Pai asked in disbelief. "I'm not sure, just a guess. Only they have the motive and strength to do so. They need food and population. They're not in a hurry, and no one can cause trouble. I feel that they're affecting me now. I haven't finished the development of Buxin County yet, but they came." Zhang Xiaobao was actually very sure that the Japanese were behind it, and they knew what they wanted to do. He thought that he could find Xiao Bei and the others in a few days, but it was likely that he would be delayed again. Old Man Pai and the other two looked at each other, and realized that they had nothing to do with it. With Xiao Bao and Cuckoo around, whoever caused trouble would be unlucky. Just wait and see. The group left the Fengwu Pavilion and returned to the yamen. He Yiwei quickly asked someone to put up today's chart. He stood outside and began to tell the people how much money the yamen had and what it was going to do. The yamen had more money now. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan confirmed the model projects in various places, and the money that should be given to the yamen had been directly transferred to the yamen's account. He Yiwei finished the story that was supposed to take 4 hours. He Yiwei finished it in an hour. He did not insert any words of encouragement, nor did he tell any stories. He only said a few words about the future. He then hurried to the room where Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were staying. The people didn't have enough fun today. They had formed a habit of going to the yamen entrance in the morning to listen to the county magistrate talk. Every time the county magistrate talked about what the county would be like in the future, they would be happy. They were also happy when they saw that the yamen's account had more money. The people no longer felt that the yamen was very far away from them. They had already treated Baoxin County as their own home. However, today was too short. The people came in a hurry and went back sullenly. Zhang Xiaobao took out the map and was about to ask Wang Wan when he suddenly saw He Yiwei coming over. He asked him first, "County Magistrate He, what's the map outside?" "I've finished. I'll give you a general introduction today. I'll tell you the details tomorrow." He Yiwei replied a little diffidently. "Oh, that's good. County Magistrate He, why don't you come over and make a plan together?" Zhang Xiaobao knew that He Yiwei had something in mind. Since that was the case, he might as well be more generous. He Yiwei nodded happily. Good, good. That's good. Oh, it's not a plan. Do you want to catch them and not let them sell their ores? That's not necessary. We just need to destroy the environment. See if there are any places nearby where there are no people and mark them out. It's useful. Cuckoo, is there a coal mine not far from here? Zhang Xiaobao opened the map and showed it to He Yiwei and Wang Wan. Wang Wan pointed 2 inches above the map and said, "There's a coal mine here. How can there be no coal in Hunan?" He Yiwei also found a place where there were no people nearby. Zhang Xiaobao was relieved and said, "In a moment, let's go look at the silver mine business and prepare to swallow the goods." Baoxin County, which was originally a market, was now surrounded by people. There were merchants, people, and scholars curiously watching the people from the Four Seas Academy hawking their wares. The piles of silver ores were examined by people who specialized in the industry. They were indeed good ores. Just take out a random piece, and you could tell that it could be refined into silver. The only thing that made people uncomfortable was that once the ores were unloaded from the cart and piled up into piles, no one was allowed to look at them. After all, there were many experienced people who could estimate the silver content of a piece of or based on the weight and volume of the ore in their hands. When Zhang Xiaobao and his group came over, the people all made way for them, allowing Zhang Xiaobao and his group to easily approach. Xiang also followed beside Wang Wan, holding a glass of grape powder in her hand. This time, it was not wine. Seeing the piles of stones on the ground, she could not see any silver in them. She asked curiously, "Sister, do you think they will put the stones in the pile and say that they are silver ores? The kind that whoever buys them will be tricked?" They wouldn't dare. Now I can use administrative means to deal with them. They are privately buying and selling silver ores, wantonly making the currency rules, and selling fake goods. Do they want to die? Wang Wan hugged Xiang and looked around as she explained. Xiang took a sip of grape juice and asked, "Then why don't you deal with them?" "Because our dynasty is short of silver. In sister's eyes, politics is to make the people live a good life by making rules. Because everyone has different ideas when making rules, it becomes a political struggle. Therefore, when our dynasty is short of silver, we need to give a certain degree of political tilt." Wang Wan felt that Xiang was a good girl. She was cheerful and eager to learn. Moreover, she did not have the reserved appearance of the children in other villages, so she wanted to teach her more. How could Xiang understand such a thing at this time? She looked at Wang Wan in confusion. Wang Wan hugged Xiang tightly and said, "It doesn't matter if you don't understand. As long as you know that sister is helping Xiao Bao get more silver for our dynasty, it will be fine." Can you get it? Xiang was looking forward to it. Yes, first get some taxes. If they say that the silver ores are currency, then sister will directly seize them. If they say that the silver ores are goods, then they must pay taxes. There is no fixed tax. Sister will give them 10% of the tax, and charge them 10% of the 100 strings of coins in the transaction. This is where your brother Xiao Bao is sinister. Wang Wan smiled and rubbed her face against Xiang Er's. Xiang looked at Zhang Xiaobao in confusion. No matter what, she could not see the sinister look on Zhang Xiaobao's face. Because the people in the Four Seas Academy were mixed, not all of them were students who specialized in literature. More foreigners went there to learn technology. There were also people from the Tang Dynasty who mixed in there. Compared to the students of other academies, they were more extroverted and were less affected by the rules of the secular world. At this time, someone stood in front of a large pile of silver ores and said to the crowd, "The price of silver is getting higher and higher, but the price of silver ores is cheap. Why don't we buy them and refine them? The starting price of the pile behind me is only 200 strings of coins. Can that pile of silver ores be refined for 200 taels?" Zhang Xiaobao turned his head and asked a craftsman that the Yamen had once rewarded. Chapter 679. Zhang Xiaobao indeed did not know anything about smelting. He looked at the mountain-like pile of ores and looked left and right. He then approached Wang Wan and moved his lips. "How much do you think Japan produces in a year?" "How would I know?" "Why?" Wang Wan's lips also moved. "According to the current situation, the other party can at least refine 3,000 taels of ores in one go. Isn't that a bit too much?" Zhang Xiaobao asked again. "They probably think it's too little. Silver ores are not silver. Refining them requires a lot of supplementary materials. Even if it's 3,000 taels worth of ores and you buy it for 2,000 taels, the final cost is estimated to be 2,500 to 600 taels. After refining all of it, it's already not bad to make 400 taels. This is not even taking into account the manpower used." Wang Wan had inquired about the annual production of gold and silver in Tang Dynasty. It was not much, especially gold. It was so little that it was negligible. Zhang Xiaobao and Wei Wei nodded. "I understand. Buy it all and prepare for the new currency." After speaking, Zhang Xiaobao returned to the front. Seeing that everyone was watching, he said, "I'll take the 200 strings of coins." Zhang Xiaobao gave a base price. When the hesitating merchants saw that Registrar Zhang had made a bid, they all gave up on buying the pile of silver ores. The people from the Four Seas Academy were stunned. This was not what they expected. Why was there no one bidding? After shouting a few times, there was still no one bidding. The large pile of silver ores was bought by Zhang Xiaobao. He had people bring in 120 strings of coins and 400 bolts of silk. This was a rule. When trading in large quantities, there must be a certain proportion of silk. Even if the silk was worn out, it could still be used as currency. Sometimes, in order to protect this rule, the imperial court would specially collect worn-out silk when collecting taxes. Usually, Zhang Xiaobao did not like to do this. He would use copper coins if he could. Today, he could not let others take advantage of him. Thus, he had people prepare the silk. One bolt was equivalent to 200 taels. After this transaction, Wang Wan stood up again. According to the county's temporary tax rate, 1 out of 10, 60% for money and 40% for silk, tax will be collected. Some of the officials with sharp brushes brought bailiffs over to check the money and took out 12 copper coins and 40 bolts of silk from the Four Seas Academy's treasury. It didn't look like anything special, but the 400 bolts of silk were all taken from the Yamen storehouse. Zhang Xiaobao had exchanged them with copper coins. With a single transaction, 60 bolts of silk became money. Silk took up a lot of space, and it was also damaged and oxidized quickly, so it couldn't be compared to copper coins. Under this type of situation, the Four Seas Academy's people renewed the Yaman's silk by 15%. The people of the Four Seas Academy were not fools. Otherwise, wouldn't they have wasted their few years of study? After a quick calculation, he realized that he was making a loss. Not only did he have to pay for the transportation, but he also had to pay for the maintenance of the silk. Moreover, the price was too low. A Japanese man and a Tang man who had come first got together to discuss. "Brother Yamamoto, I told you. Since we already found out how we lost, who we lost to, and know about this person's past, we should change places. Zhang Xiaobao isn't someone people like us can deal with. What about now? We lost again, and we lost quite a lot of money from the first batch." After the Tang man lost a few days ago, he asked around and finally found out who made him lose nearly 6,000 strings of coins. Of course, the local rich people who also bought silver also lost quite a bit. The winner was the Wind Object Pavilion and the person who took out the most money. Yes, he had found out. Zhang Xiaobao, the county registrar of Baoxing County, and Wang Wan, the county deputy county magistrate, had come with him. He had even found out about their family's situation. They were legends after legends. When they were in danger, they would try their best to turn the tide. At that time, the evaluation of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family was that they were stronger than the strong, and they never backed down. They advised the others to change places, and they couldn't afford to offend them. They just had to lose a few thousand strings of coins. In the end, they didn't listen and insisted on doing things according to the plan. They said the first time was big, so what happened this time? The second time, they lost money again. The Japanese man pursed his lips and said, "Brother Fingting, I still can't accept it. It's just a kid, just a kid. Get someone to help." Therefore, someone stood in front of the second batch and said, "This batch is still 200 strings of coins. The highest bidder will get it. Please make a bid." "I'll take it for 200 strings of coins." Zhang Xiaobao proudly shook his head and made a bid again. The surrounding people who wanted to buy kept their mouths shut at the same time, causing a very strange situation to occur. Just when everyone thought that this batch would be bought by Zhang Xiaobao again, someone suddenly raised the price. 220 strings of coins. Everyone turned their heads and saw a man on a horse looking down at the situation in the field. The first impression he gave was arrogance, as if he didn't take everyone seriously. 240 strings of coins. Zhang Xiaobao counterbid, 280 strings of coins. The man on the horse said again. Zhang Xiaobao didn't speak directly this time. Instead, he turned to look at the craftsman beside him. The craftsman didn't know what he meant. "Registrar Zhang, this batch is roughly the same." Wei Wei nodded. Zhang Xiaobao opened his mouth again. 300 strings of coins, 350 strings of coins. It was unknown whether the man on the horse didn't know how much this batch of coins was, or whether he was competing, so he raised the price again. This time, Zhang Xiaobao didn't say anything. The people from the Four Seas Academy said 350 strings of coins. "Is there anyone who wants to increase the price?" 350 strings of coins, according to the current price, we should still be able to make a profit. Even if we don't expect to make a profit, we still have to fight for our dignity. Could it be that the nobles of Baoxing County want this transaction to fall into the hands of others? These words were indeed effective. Immediately, there was a local who wanted to increase the price. Before that, he glanced at Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao felt that someone was staring at him. He turned his head and saw that the other party wanted to increase the price. That meant that he wanted to do something for the county's reputation. Zhang Xiaobao stared at that person with all his strength. That person immediately became obedient and dispelled the thought of competing. The people from the Four Seas Academy said a few more words. Seeing that no one was bidding anymore, they could only announce that the person on the horse would buy the second batch of silver ores. Wang Wan let the brush official go over to collect the tax. Seeing that the other party actually took all the copper coins, She was happy. She made a profit and continued to bid higher. At this time, the person on the horse spoke up to stop her. Wait, I don't pay the tax when I buy. Why? Wang Wan raised her head and asked. Because I am Wan Qijuan. What do you think? The person on the horse didn't look at Wang Wan and raised his head to look at the sky. At the same time, the onlookers were surprised and began to carefully size up the person on the horse. Wan Qijuan, they actually saw him today. They heard that he was protecting the emperor. No wonder he was so arrogant. Wang Wan didn't care who he was. What do you think? Not to mention Wan Qijuan, even if you are from the Jinwu Guards, you still have to pay the tax today. Besides, the one paying the tax is not you, but the seller. The person on the horse was stunned by Wang Wan's words. He carefully looked at Wang Wan and asked, "Little girl, who are you? But what kind of existence is Wan Qijuan? Is Wan Qijuan very powerful? Can they defeat the Tubo Iron Cavalry on the battlefield? You don't even know who I am, yet you dare to speak so arrogantly. Go and ask the leader of Wan Qijuan, Gufu Shun, if he dares to speak to this general like this. Where are the logistics camps of left and right-wing prefectures? Capture this person for this general." Here, Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao's personal guard shouted and moved. This time, the two brought dozens of people who followed Wang Wan to the battlefield. When they heard Wang Wan's order, they were very excited. The general finally gave an order. How long has it been since I heard Cuckoo call herself a general? Someone directly pounced forward and threw the person on the horse off the horse. The movement of the person who pounced was very skilled. When the person fell, the person on the horse was at the bottom. It seems that he had done this kind of thing many times on the battlefield. The others surrounded the person and punched and kicked him. In the end, they tied the person with the belt on the person's body and escorted him to Wang Wan. The person at the front half knelt in front of Wang Wan and cupped his fist and said, "This subordinate returns the order." Wang Wan raised her small face and walked in front of the person who was beaten black and blue. She put her hands on her waist and said, "Now do you know who this general is? You still don't want to compensate for showing off your military power in front of me." This person didn't immediately reply to Wang Wan's words. Instead, he turned his head and stared at the people from the Four Seas Academy. His gaze contained anger, grievance, and a kind of anger of being deceived. How could he not know what the logistics camp of left-wing prefecture was? Although it was gone now, its prestige was still there. When he came, why didn't anyone tell him who was in charge of the county? What bullshit county magistrate? No wonder there were two children here. It was Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Why didn't they tell him? They let him use his status as a rider to suppress others. Now, he met someone who was even more ruthless. That was a demoness, an existence who engraved words in blood and whose smile could steal lives. It was over. Just now, she asked if he dared or not. Was she going to fight? Did she laugh? She didn't laugh. Fortunately, he had to think of a way to escape and go back to General Ge to complain. The people from the Four Seas Academy all lowered their heads. They understood that the rumor was true. That county magistrate was indeed an existence who could suppress thousands of soldiers by himself. Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao were very helpless. How was this still their own bodyguard? Who exactly did they listen to? They didn't even say anything, and they just rushed out. It seemed that they were very happy. "Collect the tax for me. Who told you to stop just now? I will deal with you when we go back." Wang Wan ordered the officer with the brush cutter and the yamen runner to check the money again. The officer with the brush cutter and the yamen runner's legs were trembling. Usually, Cuckoo, the county magistrate, was very gentle. Why was she so different today? This time, no one dared to say anything to stop her. The faces of the people who saw this in Buxin County all turned red because of excitement. Wan Qijuan's people were arrested just like that. They didn't give him any face at all. Impressive. The county magistrate, who was always smiling, was actually so impressive. Good, very good. Let's see who still dares to find trouble in the county in the future. I am asking you a question. Are you going to accept it or not? Sir Wan Chi-jun. Wang Wan turned back and continued to make things difficult for the arrested people. When the arrested people of Wan Chi-jun saw Wang Wan's sullen face, they felt lucky that she didn't laugh. She really didn't laugh. That was good. She really treated her own people differently. It seemed that she didn't want to kill them. There was a saying in the army that one would rather hear the howls of 100 ghosts than see Cuckoo laugh. The ghosts could still think of ways to suppress them, but Cuckoo's laughter was over. With a plop sound, the people of Wan Chi-jun struggled to break free from the force of others and knelt on the ground. I won't stop you anymore. I know I was wrong. General, please spare my life. Why are the people of Wan Chi-jun so soft? Give them 10 strokes of the rod and drive them away. Later, I will write a letter to ask how Go Fu-shun managed the army. You guys can continue to sell. You're tuning in to the Echo Reads YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.